action.
Fox's Alexis McAdams in Nashua. Democrats also have a New Hampshire primary, but no delegates will be awarded, and President Biden isn't on the ballot.
The state moved forward with its primary, citing state law, even after the DNC reshuffled its primary nominating schedule to put South Carolina first because he placed fifth in New Hampshire in 2020. So Democratic groups now are pushing for voters to write in Joe Biden's name on the ballot.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. Challengers are on the ballot, including Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips, who thinks the president can't win in November and says he's hoping for an upset today to shake up the Democratic race. A reminder, live coverage begins at 6:06 p.m. Eastern Time tonight at foxnewsradio.com. The White House vowing again to keep attacking Iran-backed rebels in Yemen as needed after another round of joint U.S. and British airstrikes yesterday.
These self-defense strikes targeted missile systems and launchers, unmanned aerial and surface vessels, storage facilities, fighter aircraft, helicopters, and attack boats, all with the goal of further degrading the Houthis' ability to conduct further attacks on ships in the Red Sea.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby also just announcing that U.S. Mideast envoy Brett McGurk is in Egypt today for active discussions on releasing hostages held by Hamas in Gaza, adding that the White House would support a longer humanitarian pause. America is listening to Fox News.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up?
I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align bloating relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get $5 off at alignprobiotics.com.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Now I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We can certainly feel the difference in temperature as we hang around 45 degrees for the high this afternoon. A little bit of drizzle around, lots of clouds, a steady rain kicking back in overnight tonight, and it's all liquid rain. 40 for the overnight low. Wednesday periods of rain even warmer. 52. Rain continues Wednesday night, 42. And Thursday mostly cloudy, just a couple of rain showers, and 55. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text STREAK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text STREAK to 42424. That's STREAK to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow. At AMCO.
AA MCO.
Can't wait for weeks to get your tax refund? Then don't. At Jackson Hewitt, get money today if you're approved for a no-fee refund advance loan on a prepaid card. Book today at jacksonhewitt.com. No-fee refund advanced offered to eligible clients. Application required. Loans by Republic Bank. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Good to be with you. I got to take a little vacation with my family. It was a bit of a Christmas gift for my kids, and we got to cash in on that this past weekend. So thank you for giving me that time to spend with my family. But I'm very excited to be back talking to you about a busy news day in politics. The New Hampshire primary is taking place tonight, and there's a lot that could be determined quickly after this primary is over this evening. Maybe the status quo remains beyond this result of voting that we're going to be able to see from the second installment of the primary process. But I don't know. And I'm excited to talk about it today. I also know that the news that Ron DeSantis has dropped out isn't brand new information to you. I was enjoying lovely time off with my family in the state of Florida when I got the news that Ron DeSantis had dropped out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today as well, just to get you my thoughts on it and to get your reaction as well. But I think that there's something that needs to be talked about even more so than the specifics of just this day in the timeline of our March to November. We have 287 days left until the election actually takes place. And my question has been repeatedly leading up to this point, if is it possible that Donald Trump can actually win the general election? And on the whole, the majority of you, when asked that question, usually on our YouTube live chat poll, have said, yes, he can win. But it's not a resounding yes. It's not a convincing yes. Most of the time when we have that conversation, there's just there's a percentage of people who would maybe, let's just say, be in play for candidate B other than Joe Biden. We know what the status quo is. We know what we're going to get from Joe Biden 4 more years, so much so that he's not out there campaigning even to try to convince you otherwise in any way, shape, or form. We know what we're going to get from the current president should he get 4 more years. And in fact, I would say based on polling that refers to the favorability of Joe Biden, the thought about Joe Biden's acuity, his ability to perform the job, his ability to understand and comprehend the tasks that are in front of him, those poll numbers for Joe Biden are not great. So at best, if you're somebody who is of liberal mind, you're thinking you're going to get 4 more years of what we've had. But I think everybody is paying attention close enough to understand we might not get that. We're going to get a deterioration of that. And then the question is, who pulls the strings in the background for Joe Biden while he continues to be the face of the administration? The question at hand is which candidate B can beat Joe Biden? And of course, in a primary, that's what we're deciding on a state-by-state basis. Who do we want to choose to go up against Joe Biden, the incumbent president of the United States from the Democrat Party? And in Iowa, 50% of the people plus said Donald Trump. What did he get? Like 53,000 votes? It's not a lot of people making a resounding statement, but it is a high percentage of people. It is a fact-based poll.
Yeah, it is a fact-based poll with a large sample size, even though that's not a lot of people in Iowa. But that's a large sample size that gives you an idea of where people are. And what's interesting is he won every county except for one, and the one apparently he only lost by one vote. And that was the county that Democrats were swapping over to Republicans, and they ran out of the little swap papers, so they had to print more.
Yeah. If they'd have had more readily available, maybe he would have lost by like 10 votes.
10, yeah.
I don't know that Iowa is a reflection of the entire country. I think Iowa is a reflection of a region. I think that you could put a lot of states in the Iowa category, but I don't think that Iowa is a reflection of what's going on in California or New York. I don't think Iowa is a reflection of what's going on in Oregon. I also don't think that Iowa is necessarily a reflection of what's going on in Texas and in Florida, which are Republican strongholds. So we have to ask ourselves, do we look at Iowa and go, yeah, that's the barometer, that's moving forward, that this is how it's going to be? I do think that I think it was Huckabee, Governor Huckabee, that said Iowa doesn't tell you who the president is going to be. It tells you who the president is not going to be. And I think that that's where Ron DeSantis saw the tea leaves and read them correctly. I put this out on Twitter the night of the Iowa caucus that I really wish in the speech that Ron DeSantis gave after the Iowa caucus, I really wish he would have said, listen, I put all my chips in this pot. It didn't materialize. This is not the time for me to take up this responsibility because the American people are saying we're not done with Trump yet. I watch the reaction to Ron DeSantis's concession and suspension of his campaign. And I'm noticing a few very interesting things, including from Donald Trump himself, that people aren't nearly as mad at Ron DeSantis as they pretended to be, or as maybe they felt that they were when he was still in the race. And I've been trying to kind of analyze myself how the DeSantis campaign failed to launch the way I had hoped that it would launch. And I'll tell you this, and you could probably go back and bore yourself and listen to me talking about Ron DeSantis in June of 2020, because that was when I first started paying close attention to him. June of 2020 was when I escaped with my family to Florida to go visit my brother-in-law and their family that lived on the coast, because Ron DeSantis said, we're opening Florida again, and we're going to allow people to make their own decisions. Threw the family in the car, drove to Florida. We made the plans the same week that we left. And when Ron DeSantis was going so against the grain at that time, he really got my attention. And I realized, him being as young as he is, at the time in his early 40s, that this guy, if he keeps this up, he's going to have an incredibly bright political future, which I don't really care about. I don't care about Ron DeSantis's political future. I care about the future of the country. I care about the idea that what America is protected. I care about the idea that there are people that continue to exist in new generations that want to protect the same thing that was fortified when the Declaration of Independence was signed and the Constitution was formulated and signed. I care that we still have new people coming onto the scene who can fight for the same type of freedom, basic ideas that we formed this country over centuries ago. And Ron DeSantis was, for me, the first real convincing that I had that there was somebody who was in my generation, I don't know if he would be considered a millennial. I think he'd be right on the border. Is he born late 70s?
Yeah, he'd still technically be Gen X, but
But he's
like
close
to us.
Yeah. He was somebody who showed me that the idea of freedom and liberty and small government, that still exists, and it's not an old man idea. It's not something that old guys in powdered wigs and clothes that nobody wears anymore. It's not just this ancient concept that exists that is unattainable to us. It's real and it's alive. It's living and it's being carried on with great measurable evidentiary success in 2020, at least in Florida, because what a contrast that was to the home state that I live in and the tyrant J.B. Pritzker and the way he controlled the people of the state. The stark contrast was impressed upon me, and it was very meaningful to me. I understand that that's not everybody's experience with Ron DeSantis. I know that we have a ton of people living or listening to this station right now who live in Missouri, and your understanding of freedom and liberty is just, let me say, more refined than the voters seem on the whole in Illinois to perpetuate each election cycle. I know what I don't have because I see other people who have it, and it seems attainable, and I question why in this state of Illinois don't we have this type of conviction to protecting and maintaining our freedoms. And the truth is on the whole, this country is in the same position. Why do we as a country not understand the idea and the fragility of the freedoms that only exist if we, the people, protect them? Because we don't get them from the government. They are ours by nature of our existence. And it's exciting to me to know that there are future generations, which include mine, that want to fight for it and have proven that it is the preferable way of existing, especially in this country. So when Ron DeSantis dropped out, I got to say, I wasn't even sad. As somebody who has been a supporter of Ron DeSantis's, but from years before he announced his candidacy for the presidency, I wasn't really sad because what he did was the right thing. Dropping out was the right thing. And going back to my question about how did Ron DeSantis' campaign have such a failure to launch? You have to take yourself back to when he launched his campaign. You have to remember the temperature, the climate that existed when Ron DeSantis said, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. And when you start to think about what the political landscape looked like then, when Ron DeSantis decided to step into the race, we needed Ron DeSantis to step in the race.
Well, I would say a couple of things about it. One is there's a lot of talk now about he did this wrong and that wrong in the campaign and didn't get off to a good start in the media strategy. I think all of that had very little to do with the outcome. I think the outcome came down to one thing, and that is that there is a reservoir of voters in the Republican Party who were going to vote for Donald Trump if they had the chance. It was obscured by polling for about a year ago that suggested that he could be beaten and that Ron DeSantis could beat him. But once he got indicted, on a sketchy indictment in New York, the sentiment for him woke up. And I don't think that either he or really any DeSantis or any other candidate ever really had a chance against that. These Republicans want this man, and they're voting for him.
And Ron DeSantis acknowledged that. Rightfully so, because Ron DeSantis voters are Trump voters. And I think we're going to see that tonight in the results of the New Hampshire primary. Ron DeSantis got in the race when the situation was very different. The circumstances were drastically different than they were after court case after court case after court case and blue city after blue city after blue city decided to pile on top of the collusion assertions, of the impeachment allegations and processes, of all of the attacks and the lies that have surrounded Donald Trump really from day one. They materialize in the lawfare that is taking place against Trump today. I don't think that Donald Trump is 100% innocent in every single instance of all of the court cases that he's facing right now. I think that there are things that he should have done better. But I cannot be convinced in a single one of these cases that if Donald Trump were replaced with Bill Clinton, with Barack Obama, with Joe Biden, that name and that political party would protect them from the lawfare that is being imposed upon Donald Trump right now. And that is what America has seen. And that is why America said, no, Ron DeSantis, it's not your time. We're behind Trump. So now we need Donald Trump to win. I don't know what Nikki Haley is going to do tonight. If she pulls out a victory, I think that changes the narrative a little bit. But short of winning tonight, she should drop out. She won't. But I think that it's pretty amazing that in the short span of a couple of weeks here, we've seen the Republican Party come together in a way that is absolutely necessary. Should Donald Trump face off against Joe Biden or any other Democratic candidate that might replace Joe Biden on that ticket, if that's even still a possibility. We've seen the Republican Party come together. There are a few stragglers out there who still, at this point, want to talk about Ron DeSantis' loyalty. Those folks are not going to be the ones who decide the election. Understanding that Ron DeSantis stepped down and endorsed Trump shows that this party can be united, showing that Nikki Haley's support is coming largely from people who are moderates to, on the left, active voting Democrats, gives us two opponents to unite behind. Joe Biden and the people who constantly want to make the Republican Party the light version of what the Democrats do in the swamp every day. And Donald Trump's the guy who's going to have to do it. And the one thing, going back to the very beginning of what I said about Donald Trump, knowing what he's been up against this entire time, is Donald Trump capable of doing what he needs to do to win? Because Donald Trump of 2016 and Donald Trump of 2020, neither one of those two gentlemen can win this race. We need the refined version of Donald Trump 2024, the one who has learned from where he has been and has used it to make himself the very best candidate for American voters to consider as the absolute candidate B alternative to 4 more years of Joe Biden or whatever comes with him. The YouTube live chat poll for today: has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? I want to know from you what you think. Yes or no? If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, right there, you can vote and tell us what you think. If you've seen things, I've seen things that make me go raise an eyebrow. I'm not putting my chips in the middle of the table quite yet because I need consistency. I need him to string together a few of these opportunities. I'm wondering if you think that he's done that. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote. The great Harris Faulkner on the Annie Frey Show in just a minute.
I'm gonna take you to a special
This is the Annie Frey Show.
knows. Baby, get ready.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Victory Men's Health is making it easier than ever before to feel like your old self again. Mark Cox here from my friends at Victory Men's Health. Now they're offering telehealth. You reside in Illinois or Missouri, the process is easy. Just go to their website, pick the service you're interested in. Maybe it's semaglutide for weight loss or hormone therapy or micronutrient testing. Once you've made your selection and your results are in, they'll do a video telehealth consult to review. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Democracy 2024.
The New Hampshire primary is today. Nikki Haley is betting the house on it, but Trump still leads in the polls. We've got live coverage tonight starting at 6 p.m. It's the New Hampshire primary on 97.1 FM Talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Always been a mystery. All my life, I've been told I belong at the end of the line with all the other not quite, with all the never get it right. But it turns out they're the ones you were looking for.
All right, all right, all right. If you want 4 more years of Donald Trump, let me hear you scream.
I have missed Senator Tim Scott from being on the campaign trail, if not just to hear more of things like that. As the folks who have dropped out of the primary race to be the Republican candidate for the general election here coming in November have coalesced around Donald Trump, he has to face off against Nikki Haley tonight in New Hampshire. And Harris Faulkner joins us now to talk to us about her experience being on the ground in New Hampshire, talking to voters, talking to people at rallies. Harris, thank you so much for the time today. It's a pleasure to have you back.
Absolutely, Annie. It is great to talk to you. So first of all, I want to say I was at that rally. I went to both of the rallies for Trump and Haley last night because I thought it was the most important night. I didn't get out of the Trump rally until after 11 p.m. So I was rallying from her started at 6 until after 11, and they began voting at midnight in New Hampshire. So those were important occasions. Those were the last times that voters would hear from them personally. They were both generous with their time. I've never, ever seen a situation, though, where you saw at the Trump rally the former competitors fresh off exiting the race, with the exception of DeSantis. He was not there, and the president's already said it may take a little time for him to heal. And you know he doesn't mince words. And so, but to see Senator Tim Scott, also just a couple days after he had gotten engaged, Tim Scott. So, I mean, he was jubilant last night. And it was a crowd that I would say, you know, has always kind of been there for Trump. I mean, their merch was on fire.
Merch.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, there were sequin Trump jackets, that sort of thing. So these are diehard Trump supporters, and what a place to be as a candidate in a room like that. Nikki Haley had far more many people than I had heard were showing up to her events. I mean, there were an estimate between 700 and 800 people at that event, which is a lot for, you know, a random night, primary eve in a state that Trump is still far ahead in the polls. So it was really interesting how young her crowd was. That was the first thing that jumped out at me. And, you know, I'm covering all of it, so I want everybody to know everything. And so Governor Sununu endorsed her early. He was out there. He was on my show today. He was a little obnoxious, but whatever.
I watched it.
He was like name calling. And, you know, after a while, I just let people show you who they are.
Sure.
By the way, the bottom line is if she loses, he's voting for Trump.
That's the takeaway here. I thought that interview with him was so, I don't know, I like watching people who are advocating also talk to people who interview because I interview, so I kind of understand it's like a dance. You ebb and you flow. You try to set people up to give an opportunity to, and he was talking the entire time you were talking, and at the end it just kind of went off the rails, and I thought the exact same thing you articulated there. He had something to say, and he showed me who he was. And Sununu, I'm thinking back. I told my producers this a few months ago. Like, we need a map of who is where on the Trump timeline. Does Trump hate this person, or does Trump like this person right now? My understanding is that Sununu has a major beef with Donald Trump, and I'm always looking a little bit at how does Nikki Haley help the country?
That's why I said you should debate Donald Trump, because this wasn't even, after a while, he wasn't even talking about his candidate anymore.
Right. It seemed personal. Does it seem personal? Did it seem personal to you?
it felt personal, and I told him that. I said, you're getting snarky. You're name calling. I don't do the name calling here. And he goes, well, what about Trump? And I'm thinking, is he trying to beat Trump?
Yeah.
Because has he not heard Trump's positive message on the stump here in New Hampshire? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just show him who you are, dude. Just show him who you are. And it was clear when I said, oh, you should debate Trump, what he was really after. And I get that. But let me tell you something. I would never say that this started out with anything that Trump did to him, because when the conversation began a few years ago about fentanyl deaths on the border, and the president put in some of those policies that that stemmed the tide of the drug cartels working that border, he was addressing that problem. They came to this state first for Governor Sununu because he was so loud about how bad fentanyl was on behalf of families that were really suffering. Now, Kellyanne Conway told me this story. She was on the ground for that. So I don't know where it's coming from, but he had the president's support. And that's fine. He can back whoever he wants, but he wasn't representing Nikki Haley well by being obnoxious.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if somebody wants, if Annie comes here, she's like, Harris, I need for you to speak on my behalf. When I'm done, people are going to want to buy you flowers.
Yeah, I don't know if that's happening.
I know what a friend looks like.
Sure.
I don't know. But it's going to be interesting because I have a feeling it's not even a feeling. There was one small town that had 1,000 votes already by 8 a.m. in a town that usually gets 1,500 in a 24-hour period.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to
watch. They
watch.
start at midnight.
Yeah,
that's a lot. So you're going to have a lot of people, and the weather's good today. For them, it's not snowing. The sun's not out, but it's warmer today. And I think you'll have a lot of people, and that's what our republic is built for.
Yeah, amen.
Go out, exercise your right.
We're speaking with anchor and host of the Faulkner Focus and Outnumbered on Fox News. I don't miss an episode. Harris Faulkner with us right now. It's great prep for my show here because we start at noon Central, so it's right after you guys get done with your 2 back-to-back hours. Of course, I'm listening to you talking about how Governor Sununu, how the arc of that conversation ended on Trump. The arc of every conversation right now ends on Trump, which to me,
it does.
I was a big supporter of Ron DeSantis, not in opposition to Donald Trump, but I just liked Ron DeSantis. He was my preference.
That's who you like.
Yes, and I'm happy to vote for Donald Trump if he becomes the nominee. But to me, it's like Trump is inevitable, and Ron DeSantis acknowledged that you'd put everything on the table in Iowa. It didn't materialize. I think DeSantis made a good move. But even in the Sununu conversation, it ended up being about Donald Trump. How in the Nikki Haley camp can they not see that this inevitability of Donald Trump after 4 years of not even being the guy in the office, that this is going to materialize in a way that's not going to benefit them?
Look, I think that that's why I was trying to get him to answer the question, if she doesn't win, what percentage do you have to reach for her to go past New Hampshire? And I don't know if you picked, there was just like terseness in his voice. He was upset that I would even question that. And I said, but if she loses, and he's like, she's not going to lose. And I'm thinking, you're not a friend if you are delusional about the fact that your candidate that you have endorsed may lose. You may be able to help her. He hasn't won his entire life. No one has. We don't have perfect victory, only in the Lord.
Amen.
So, I didn't really understand that. And what I was thinking is maybe there's not a plan. But when he didn't know how much money she'd raised since DeSantis got out of the race, it told me everything.
Yeah, there's an end game here, and it's to me, it's not Nikki Haley wins, it's Donald Trump loses, and that just has not been a winning strategy for anybody quite yet.
No, and Donald Trump is, he came out last night and he said, I don't want anybody to take it for granted.
Yeah.
He said, we are up and all of that, but that doesn't mean I don't need you to go and vote tomorrow. I mean, I don't think people are listening to him, and I know Democrats are listening, and which is why they have hit the panic button. I'm surprised the button even works anymore.
You've spoken with Dean Phillips, correct? Did you have a conversation
He was
with
on
him?
today. He was on today, and he said 10 weeks ago I didn't have any name recognition in New Hampshire. And I'm like, well, everybody knows you now here. I said, I don't know about outside New Hampshire. He said, well, he didn't even want to contest the state. They have to write his name in. And I said, is there a chance you could win? I mean, wrap your mind about that.
Right.
Around that, rather. Do you know very many independents and Democrats who would write Joe Biden's name in.
It's a real commitment. It's different than checking a box. It's like an
They
extra
don't like
step.
him.
Right.
He's got polling numbers that were lower than Jimmy Carter at this point. They don't like him. So I don't know why anybody, and I say the weather's nice. It's still snowy and cold, but I mean, it's not like Iowa.
Right.
So I can't imagine anybody not going to, if they declared before October 6th to switch from Democrat to Republican, and there were some people who did, not a whole lot, but some who did, that'll hurt. But most people who are Democrats are going to vote Democrat. And when they do, they're going to look at the names that are on the list. And I just don't see a whole lot of people, at least not based on Democrats I've talked to here, who are going to write that name in. First of all, fentanyl is raging. They're tougher on the border issue than Iowans. And it was number one issue for Iowans who were registered voters. I mean, I think Biden's in trouble.
Yeah. There's so much to come out of this race tonight, particularly because there is a Democrat contingency and a Republican contingency that Americans are going to want to be paying attention to. I know Fox News is covering it. We're going to be carrying that coverage here on 97.1. The last question I want to ask you before I let you go, I don't want to take too much of your time. We're speaking with Harris Faulkner right now.
It is a pleasure to be with you, but your radio show is important. I don't want to rob time.
No, I appreciate that. Our question that we ask, we put up a poll question every day for our listeners to vote on our YouTube channel as we live stream it there as well. And it says, Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Because, you know, I'm a suburban woman. I'm 39 years old. I got 4 kids. I'm the one who Donald Trump is supposed to be winning over. He's going to have my vote in November should he get the nomination. But a lot of people want him to articulate himself differently, to stop with the name calling. I'm wondering if you're seeing a different Trump 2024 than maybe 2020 and 2016. Has he learned any lessons, so to speak?
I'm not saying a different Trump, except for the fact that about 3 weeks ago or so, he did that town hall with Martha McCallum and Brett Baer, and we saw a difference there.
Yeah.
And I have seen now consistently that person in that lane the same way since. And that is this. He's still going to fight. He's still the tough kid in the corner, you know, who would stand up for everybody else who needed it. I imagine, of course, I didn't know him as a child, but that's what I imagine he was like. But where he's different is he doesn't lead with his court cases, and he doesn't lead with his, you know, upset over whether or not he won in 2020 and all of that. He's leading with how he wants to make the country great again. And why that works for him is because it is the assumption that it was great when he left, and the reality that it was great when he left. So even if he's asking you to assume he'll make it better, there are millions of Americans who say, well, he can make it better because we already saw it happen. And so if he stays on that message and he focuses on helping get the Black and Hispanic communities back economically, historically better than they had ever been in 50 years in this country, if he focuses on that, he hits Biden so hard because those are the very voters that Biden now has lost by more than 30 points. Yeah. So there's some things that he can do and that he is doing. It doesn't mean he's a different person. People they like that side of him that says, I'm in here for you. But now he's got to articulate how he's going to do that. He's got to talk about how he's going to attack the prices that people pay for food. Hit all the areas where Biden is like, oh my gosh, that looks like stuff on my shoe. Let me go change my shoe, rather than figure out another way to keep that from happening. Right. Like, don't step in it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I am really excited that Republican Party has put out a bunch of candidates that had a lot of ideas, and the left did not do the same. And I'm excited to cover it because it means that maybe there'll be pressure put on the left to come up with somebody else, and maybe the competition for the American public's vote with fresh ideas will take the entire nation forward. But in the meantime, both sides have to stop hating the other side.
Amen to that.
No more deplorables. And what did Joy Behar say? No more crazies. Well, the vice president just sat there like a lump on a log and let her say that. Half the nation is not this. Half the nation is not. We've got to get into a place where everybody sees everybody as an American. And I think Donald Trump can set the tone for that. I know Nikki Haley can set the tone for that. I think Republicans can set the tone for that. And that is completely oppositional to the left, no matter who they run.
Yeah. Amen. Amen to all of that. Well, the author of Faith Still Moves Mountains, I encourage you to read a great anecdote after anecdote of prayer and how intercession has really made differences in people's lives. Harris, I listened to the audiobook, and it was a very
great.
It was a positive interjection in my day going to and from work to listen to some of the stories that you tell of real American people who use prayer and been able to manifest wonderful things through it. You tell great stories both on the television and in that book, and honored to have you here back.
Thank you. Bless you. Thank you so much. It just warms my heart. And I know as a mom of 4, we co-mothers that we are, it's important that we lift each other in prayer and in faith and just remind each other that, God's got us. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Be still and know. That's exactly right. Harris Faulkner, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Yep,
Go voters.
Well. That's right. Go Chiefs. I'll tell you that too. Here in Chiefs.
Ooh, yeah, that's a story for another day.
Another story. Talk to you soon, Harris Faulkner.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Harris Faulkner, she is the anchor and host of the Faulkner Focus and Outnumbered on Fox News with us here on the Annie Frey Show. Great to speak with her, and we're going to talk with Ryan Wiggins in studio when we come back. Wiggins America, we're going to talk to him. What was his topic again? You sent it.
Are you addicted to your social media?
Social media?
Yeah.
All right. We'll find out with Wiggins America in studio with us here on the Annie Frey Show when we come back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I want to talk to you about the event coming up Tuesday, January 30th. I'm going to be there. Are you? I hope so. I would love to sit down and shake your hand or get to know you a little bit before the Protecting Your Retirement educational event, Tuesday, January 30th. The event starts at 6:30 p.m. I get there at about 6 o'clock and try to meet as many folks as I can before the event starts. And we'll talk to you about your retirement. Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group put together these free events for you to be able to come, sit, listen to how they can make sure that your retirement is one that is worry-free. Reach out to them and reserve your spot today at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. And get your spot reserved. Bring your spouse, bring your sibling, your friends, and learn about how when you are right there on the cusp of retirement, you've worked very, very hard your entire career to make sure that everything is protected, that everything is going to be there nice and tight like you expected it to be. You want to make sure that that's actually the case, and this free event will help you. It's the Protecting Your Retirement educational event, Tuesday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Learn more at retirementkey.com.
What I'm about to share is something we don't talk about often enough, so I'm just going to say it. We apply deodorant to our armpits every day. It's a part of the routine, right? So why do we put up with odors on other parts of our body between showers? It's time you discovered Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. I tried it, and I noticed a difference right away, everywhere. Lumi was developed by an OBGYN. It's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, and that reassurance is worth every penny. Lumi has over 300,000 5-star reviews, and a 60-day money-back guarantee means you can try Lumi risk-free. Give Lumi Whole Body Deodorant a try and start controlling your body odor better, everywhere.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code RISKFREE and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack, and ships free with code RISKFREE. LumeDeodorant.com, code RISKFREE, and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code RISKFREE.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll of the day: has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Simple yes or no here. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Let us know what you think, and of course, leave a comment as to why you think the way you do. We'll be talking about those throughout the show today. It is 12:44 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. It's all here on St. Louis's home for conservative talk, 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Well, I don't know if all that's true, 'cause you got me, baby, I got you.
He just said, will I be using the name Ron DeSanctimonious? I said, that name is officially retired.
Donald Trump he was kind of walking by a group of supporters and press folks, and that question was posed to him, and he said that he was getting rid of the name. It's retired. Now, it's not because Donald Trump has seen the light and wanted to become a new man. It's because he beat Ron DeSantis, and he is no longer in the race. However, let me ask you this question, and we're doing so on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Let us know what you think, yes or no. Leave some comments if you want to react to why you think yes or no. Steve said someone has definitely finally reached him. He's much more personable and gracious. Still a few Trumpian quotes here and there, though. So if you agree with Steve, or if you disagree with Steve, go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and let us know what you think. Let's get to Ryan.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! Hey, the whole gang's back together. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Good enough, anyway. I'll caffeine through today.
Okay.
Got to get a little more sleep tonight. I got to catch up. So the topic that I brought today is a little bit more social, of course. Not entirely social media, but a little bit more about your phone. Question for the room, and Leah's in here too. Hi, Leah.
Oh, hi.
Do you have a tough time putting it down? Are you very disciplined with your phone, or do you find yourself in places where maybe I shouldn't be using it right now, you still use it?
No, I think that if you're in a position to, I have gotten much better at it. The only thing I don't put my phone on the table when I'm at business meetings or at a dinner or something with somebody. It's not enough to put the phone face down. Put it away, maybe in your pocket or something. So if it vibrates or whatever, it's key to have vibrations. You can set vibrations on your phone that go different ways, so you can
I
know
didn't
where.
know that.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe not on your iPhone.
Hold on.
Yeah, you might.
I was gonna say she's got a Samsung. You've got an iPhone, and I haven't dug into the new iPhone iOS yet to see if that.
You can't do that on iPhone?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
Dang, that seems like something that should be obvious that I should have known already.
I feel like if you can.
I need to know if you can do that on iPhone because that is so basic.
Yeah.
Because
I need to know it too.
Like I can have a buzz for Jared texting me, or I can set one if my kids are staying somewhere, the phone that they would call me from, so that I know that's a kid thing.
Yeah. So you got to get that one.
Or okay, that's an email. I don't need to check that now.
Right.
So I've set my phone up so that there are only several instances where in a professional setting or in a situation with a friend, if I were out with them, that I would pull that phone out. But I've tried to do specific things to put it away.
So you say keeping your phone on the table would be like saying, hey, I am talking to you, but I'm also monitoring the phone.
It's
so
like
keeping it down.
Everybody who you would be contacting on that phone is sitting right there at that table with you.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that's what you mean.
Put it out of sight. It doesn't have to be completely out of mind, but out of respect to the people you're with. Focus on those people.
Brad is on his phone right now.
Yes.
He's also producing a show.
Yes. So I was just looking. Yeah, you can on iPhone. You can customize your notifications.
There you go. Just
Thank you.
A little tip for the Apple users. Welcome to the Android life.
How about you, Brad, for this question? Is it something you have a tough time putting aside?
Only because my job is so dependent on what everything happens with my phone.
And always got to be current.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm
because Ryan Wiggins won't stop.
If I were
1 a.m. Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah. Good grief, you won't leave me alone.
Here's a
so
meme.
what you doing? I was like, Ryan, are you taking a bubble bath again and calling me? No.
No. There's no bubbles.
Hey, I was only gone for a few days.
That's right.
But
There's probably no water in the tub either, right?
Yeah. It's very depressing. It's all champagne.
There are bubbles in champagne, right?
Oh yeah.
Tiny bubbles.
If I were on my phone as much as I am now but I wasn't doing this job, yeah, it would be a big problem. But I feel like there's part of my job that requires me to be on it.
Leah, our Gen Zer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not representing myself really well here. Yeah, I am on my phone a lot. I'd say mostly for like good reasons, but definitely a lot of just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. But
So, Annie, I'm with you. I'm trying very hard to, at least with events, like church events especially, small groups, I'm actually trying to just leave it.
When you're doing communion and you're like,
yeah.
checking your...
What's this? Oh, hey, check it out.
The body of Christ?
Oh, this G.I. Joe meme is super funny.
Check this out.
I'm trying to leave it in the car, not even with me, because if it's in my pocket, I'll still think about it. And I'm trying to get to the point where if I know I'm going to be somewhere where I don't need to know anything, like for church, for instance, my kids are with me. They're there.
Yeah.
So I don't have to. The emergency thing is really not even an excuse. So I'm trying to leave it aside. There is new research out of Granada, which is in Spain. It says that our need for social contact could be the actual reason so many of us are glued to our devices, according to this research. The study published in the Journal of Psychothema is the first evidence of this theory. UGR scientists work with 86 people who were divided into two groups. Now, here were the first group was the social experimentation group. Each participant was told to send a message, and since this is international, they said WhatsApp, but I think that's basically like texting. They just get around fees internationally to do that. So send a text to your most active contacts explaining that you're going to be in a study in a virtual reality universe. The second group, with the control group, was instructed not to send a message to any of their contacts. Next, all participants were asked to switch off their notifications and leave their mobile phones face down while they did some other activity. It was in that moment that they're monitoring their brain waves that the group that sent the text was anxious.
Anxious, waiting to what did they say back?
What's that?
What would they respond? They're thinking in their mind. They're thinking about the conversations
yes.
that they're having while they're doing the other task.
Exactly. And the group that didn't send in those texts, much more calm. Now, on the back end of that, though, once they were done with the activity, I'm going to try to use their words here because it's a little weird. We found that the group became more anxious. That was the early one. But once they got their phones back, that same group that had sent the text experienced a much higher level of emotional arousal, they said. And the other group, pretty flat. So what they concluded was...
So the highs aren't as high and the lows aren't as lows.
That's exactly right.
That's where I like to live.
So, I wanted to see if that was me, because whenever I initiate a text, I feel obligated to wait for that person to respond, because I feel like, well, I initiated, I need to respond back whenever they get back to me, regardless of when that is. The reverse is not always true. If somebody texts me, I'll get back to them as soon as I can. But do you feel like that obligation the same way as I do?
That's interesting, because so you feel the anxiousness when you send the text that you have an obligation, but whenever somebody texts you, you don't worry about them being on the other side feeling anxious about it.
That's correct. Yeah, I still get back to them as soon as I can, but I feel like I have to watch my phone if I'm the one that asked the question or initiated it.
For me, it's 100% about the importance of the topic that I texted about. If it's a throwaway thing or a funny thing, whatever, just throw it out there and it's out there and they'll get to it when they get to it. If it's like, I need an answer to this because it affects what I'm going to do next in my day or on the show or whatever, then I pay a little more attention to it.
You?
What's the question?
Are you more likely to look at your phone longer when you initiate a text?
Well, yeah, obviously.
So you feel obligated in the same way.
Yeah, just like if I walked into your office to ask you a question, I wouldn't just leave and make you come find me.
That's a good example.
I would wait for a response. But I don't know. With today's social norms, people just kind of like...
Well, you could just walk up and ask me a question.
I have something really important to ask you, and I'm going to ask it to you right now. You come find me when you have an answer. But it better be fast.
You should walk into my office and go, man, Ryan, I have some great topics today. You're not going to believe 104, and then gone.
Poof. I'm out. Yeah.
The results of this study, though, and this is where I thought, I'm not sure if I agree with this, and this is where I want to know if you do. They said that from these findings, the team determined that our affiliation with mobile phones is linked to the way they enable us to interact with others rather than actually being addicted to the phone itself. That you're addicted to the social aspect of having the phone.
Well, the idea of being addicted to the social aspect of having a phone is not a new thing. It's just a different mechanism to materialize social interaction that every human craves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm so fearful for this generation that is being raised with cell phones, because they're spending, I mean, kids are getting phones at the regular before they're 10 years old. They are not learning how to socialize with one another. If you're the mean parent that doesn't give their kids phones to have access to all the time, then they sit there with all of their friends who are on their phones and they're left out. So then you have to ask yourself what to do about that, because the socialization takes place that way. But I'm noticing this just in society as a whole. People walk around with headphones on and earbuds. I remember when I went to New York City and I saw people walking on the streets with headphones. It made so much more sense to me. This idea that you would want to be in this big city and you would be spending a lot of time walking, which is not the way it happens in suburban life or rural life for sure, that you use that time to put headphones on and listen to a podcast or listen to music or whatever, because you're going from point A to point B, and there's so many people everywhere all of the time.
You're creating personal space.
You're creating personal space. But that becomes, like the Starbucks cup in your hand is an icon. It's a status. The headphones on, it's like, I don't need anybody else. And that's what society is telling us right now, that you don't need anybody else, that you yourself, exactly the way you are, is just perfectly fine the way you are. You don't need anyone else. And it is against everything that we were created to be. And so the idea that you need we have now determined that the thing that we always needed, we can access through our phone, but it is never going to be enough.
Yeah.
And the deep dive that these kids are making right now to try to fill these holes of social gratification, I mean, the internet is endless.
And this is a facsimile. This is a cheaper version of real human interaction.
It's not real at all. Jim Carafano on that border crisis when we come back.
I was afraid to cut the cord, but once I did, I couldn't believe it took so long to do it. Paying too much for my cable bill had become a bad habit. I either wasn't getting what I wanted or never knew where to find any of my favorite shows until it was too late. Plus, the prices just kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch, called Philo. For just $25 a month, I can catch all my favorite shows on networks like BET, MTV, and TLC. It even has Nickelodeon for my kids. I can watch anytime I want, anywhere I want. Plus, Philo lets me have up to 3 streams at once, so everyone can watch what they want at the same time. Throw in the unlimited DVR that saves all my favorites for up to a year, and this really is the best deal in TV. I just wish I hadn't waited so long. Sound too good to be true? Well, try it out for yourself, and you'll see why people who love TV love Philo. Go to philo.tv, that's philo.tv, and start your 7-day free trial now.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan. You've heard me talking about the bagel loan. Why is it so special? No closing costs? Man, if you've gotten a mortgage and you remember the process, you go through, make the offer gets accepted, and then you find out what the closing costs are, they add up quite a bit. If you want to avoid paying any of those closing costs, they don't exist. He doesn't tuck them away somewhere. They are not there. I've done the bagel loan refinance on my home twice to get myself a super low rate back when rates were really ridiculously low. And having talked to you about a bagel loan over and over and over again, I convinced myself that, it's worth it to go through the process to get my home refinanced and secure that lower rate. And I'm really glad I did. I'm a customer of Stewie's. I've gone through the process, and then I was so satisfied with it as rates continue to drop. I went through the process again to get a lower rate, and I trust Stewie. I hope you will too. Call him or text him at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, and ask him how the bagel loan can help you. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hey guys, Glover here for a brand new sponsor to the show, Master.com. That's MASTOR.com. If your phone system does not allow you to be anywhere in the world, if it is not connected to the cloud, if it is not partnered with Nuso, which is a St. Louis company and a nationwide leader in cloud-based phone systems, then you are with the wrong company. We are local, we're family owned, we're great at what we do. Once again, find us at Mastor, MASTOR.com. That's Master.com for the best phone service.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
She says she's not going anywhere. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
When have we ever had two people down to two people in New Hampshire and you say, oh, it's over?
Nikki Haley vows to keep going after today's primary in New Hampshire, where former President Trump just stopped at a polling place in Londonderry and says he doesn't care if Haley stays in, telling reporters she's not a threat to him.
Let her do whatever she wants. It doesn't matter. I can just say that there's never been a movement like this. Make America great again in the history of our country.
Senator and former candidate Tim Scott also making stops for Trump today. Many voters in New Hampshire citing border security and the economy as top issues. But Trump will President Biden, that is, will focus on abortion rights for a second day, holding a joint rally with Vice President Harris in Virginia. The president is not on the New Hampshire ballot after the Democratic Party bumped South Carolina to the top of its calendar. So Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips is hoping for an upset, telling Fox News he'd be a bipartisan leader.
We've got to do this entirely differently.
He calls President Biden a good man who won't beat Trump. The president's supporters have launched a write-in campaign in New Hampshire. You can hear live coverage tonight beginning at 6:06 p.m. Eastern at foxnewsradio.com. Defense Chief Lloyd Austin makes his first public appearance after his recent hospitalization, holding a virtual conference.
Secretary Austin didn't address his recent health problems, but he did address concerns regarding misuse of U.S. military aid to Ukraine.
We've seen no credible evidence of the misuse or illicit diversion of American equipment provided to Ukraine.
The Biden administration is urging Congress to pass an emergency spending package that would include billions in aid to Ukraine.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. Austin is still working remotely as he recovers after complications from prostate surgery. America is listening to Fox News.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this. Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get $5 off at alignprobiotics.com.
Can't sleep with this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need NyQuil Severe Honey.
NyQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste.
Feeling better, honey? Honey? I'll take that as a yes.
Try NyQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu symptom relief. NyQuil Severe with honey flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever. Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold. Medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We can certainly feel the difference in temperature as we hang around 45 degrees for the high this afternoon. A little bit of drizzle around, lots of clouds, a steady rain kicking back in overnight tonight, and it's all liquid rain. 40 for the overnight low. Wednesday periods of rain even warmer. 52, rain continues Wednesday night, 42, and Thursday mostly cloudy, just a couple of rain showers, and 55. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I want to talk to you about the Diamond Shop. Easy to find them online. Just go to thediamondshop.net. They are located in Clayton, and they've been serving St. Louis since 1910. I appreciate the longevity of the Diamond Shop because the staying power that they have means that they've been doing something right. And the idea of working one-on-one with St. Louisans, people from the bi-state region, for that long really shows that they understand the industry and they care about you. When you walk into the Diamond Shop and you've got an idea of a person that you're going to get something for, maybe it's yourself, but you have a thought in your mind about what you're looking for, they help make that materialize into an actuality, into something that you can mark an occasion with, to celebrate something with, to acknowledge something with. Those are very meaningful transactions, and the Diamond Shop is there helping St. Louisans just like yourself do that every single day. If you're looking for something special, some fine jewelry, some custom jewelry, if you're looking for an appraisal, someone to buy gold, among many other things, the Diamond Shop can help you. They're located in Clayton, but they're online at thediamondshop.net.
Conservatives Care supports organizations making a difference in our community. Kim St. Ange here. USO Missouri serves active, reserve, and National Guard military members and their families throughout the St. Louis Metro and Kansas City. Learn how you can support their mission at 971talk.com/care.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
At Lakeside Renovation and Design, our secret sauce isn't just the tools we use or the materials we choose. It's our people. We're not just builders. We're local craftsmen, highly skilled in our trades. Our team takes immense pride in transforming homeowners' visions into reality. We're not just in the business of remodeling. We're in the business of making homes more beautiful, comfortable, and valuable. What sets us apart? Integrity and honesty. Our craftsmen exceed expectations because we care. Lakeside, where every nail, every cut, every detail is a testament to our commitment to you.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Breaking news into CNN out of the Supreme Court. This is a major battle between the Biden administration and Texas. CNN's Joan Biskupic is joining us now. And Joan, the Supreme Court here, by a 5-4 decision, allowing the U.S. Border Patrol to remove razor wire that was deployed by the state of Texas at the border. This is while the legal challenge to this dispute now plays out in court. Right, Joan?
That's right. And we've been waiting for this decision. This has been going on for several weeks, where the state of Texas, Governor Abbott has been blocking the Biden administration Border Patrol at the border in Texas.
So there's a CNN report on the southern border. We all know that there is a huge crisis. Well, not all of us, I guess. The people in the Oval Office don't seem to know. I think what we learned from this SCOTUS ruling here, ruling 5-4, saying that the Border Patrol, the federal agencies can cut through that stuff, that the wire that has been put down by Texas. What this really does say, I think, is that this isn't a Texas problem. This is a federal government problem. And I think that that is a key element that people need to understand when they're looking at who is running our federal government. Let's get to our next guest who knows all about this. Jim Carafano is the senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome back to the show. Good to have you as always.
Such an astute observation, Annie Frey, that the major impact of the activity and the action by Texas and other states is not to solve the problem. It really is to draw attention to the problem. And you're right that only the U.S. government can step in and secure our border and enforce immigration laws in the end. Now, in a cooperative manner, and even in a non-cooperative manner, there are a handful of things that state and local governments can do. But it's like you're a first baseman. You can go out and stand on the ball field, but unless the rest of the team is on the field, you're never going to win a ball game.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what's going on here, and it's very important of you to point that out. Is we have on this particular policy, there are really only a choice of two policies. There is to secure the border and enforce the law, or there is to have open borders and literally allow anybody that wants to come into the United States, providing them a really illegal way to do that. And then the U.S. government essentially sanctioning illegal entry and subverting the law. Those are your two choices, period.
Man, it's unbelievable the lengths that the Biden administration is going to continue the status quo of the flood of people across the southern border. I mean, this is a choice that the American people will have, of course, in the next election. But I heard Joe Biden, when he came off of his Christmas vacation or break, or one of his vacations or breaks, he was saying that Congress needed to give him the money in order to do what needs to be done at the southern border. So if you're going to say it's a federal government problem, not a state problem, then is the Biden administration going to get away with saying, well, Congress needs to do something? It's not the executive office. It's Congress that needs to act.
Well, of course, Biden asks Congress for more money to make it easier to process people illegally coming in the United States. So, it's complete gaslighting. He says, well, I can't solve the problem. Congress needs to give me money. What he wants Congress to give them money for is to make the illegal entry in the United States more efficient and to scale it up and make it even larger. That's what he's asking for. So there are two choices here. And look, again, I'm not, why don't we just make a tape of me saying this so you can just hit a button? And I am not partisan, right? I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't do politics. I only do policy. I'm just trying to clarify and explain things. But the reality is this president wants open borders, and that's his policy. And what doesn't matter is all of the negative consequences that to address those, whether it's the unprecedented number of opioid deaths, or the incredible wealth of the cartels, or the vast humanitarian crisis, or the fact that could be terrorists coming, all that stuff. The policy is more important than that. And the penultimate example of that, remember, is, we debate over the Ukraine war here, and the president's like, well, all in for the support of Ukraine. But the reality is the president's been very clear on this. Rather than secure the border, which is not his policy, he will throw Ukraine under the bus. He'll let the Russians invade, run over that country, waste every nickel we invested in the defense of Ukraine. He is that committed to this policy that he will let his Ukraine policy fail rather than secure the U.S. border.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of turning that on its head, because that's been the articulation of this administration in this tug and pull with Congress. I mean, the Biden administration policy is like the patient is on the table. There's obviously a crisis at hand, and the patient is bleeding out. And the resolution from Joe Biden is, let's just make sure it's not a big bloody mess. Let's make sure the blood, as it is flowing out of the patient, is done in a clean, nice manner.
Look, the patient is bleeding out. I want Congress to give me more money for buckets and mops and sponges.
Exactly. Let's not stop the bleeding. Let's just make it so that it's not messy.
Exactly. Right. Nobody should see all this blood all over the place. Give me money to clean up the blood.
I want to ask you about the fentanyl issue that is really should be center to many people who are paying attention to this election coming up, because fentanyl is a different element to our border crisis than just people coming here and not knowing who they are or where they are. The New Hampshire primary is today. I've heard a lot of people talking about how New Hampshire has had a huge fentanyl crisis and concern. You can't get much further away from the southern border than New Hampshire. How big of an issue is fentanyl in the everyday life of Americans right now, regardless of how close they are to the southern border?
Yeah, and these things are all kind of intertwined. The cartels went from making about a couple of $100 million a year on human smuggling to $13 billion a year on human smuggling. It is the single most profitable thing they do. But what do they do with the vast profits that they make from human smuggling? They turn around, they take that money, and they reinvest it in drug smuggling. And why fentanyl? Fentanyl is basically heroin in a little pill. It is the cheapest and most effective way to take the most powerful and addictive drug that you could possibly put in the U.S. system. A pill is small, it's lightweight. You can put a fortune of pills in a backpack, as opposed to giant bales of marijuana or buckets of cocaine. It is the most cost-effective drug in the world. It's cheap, it's powerful, and there's a high demand. And the way to do that, is not through big pharma. It's basically you buy the precursors from China for almost nothing, honestly. Matter of fact, in many cases, the cartels actually do illegal. They steal or force the catches from illegal fish, and they give them to the Chinese, and they exchange, illegal fishing for the chemicals to make drugs. So they don't even pay for the chemicals. And these things are tied together. And the point is if you walk across the border with a backpack full of pills, there's a demand from that everywhere in America and Canada.
I mean, I've heard a lot of politicians talk about this, but I know people in my own life who have experienced a child who made one bad decision and lost that child.
Well, this is the thing about people have to understand about these opioid overdoses. It is like Russian roulette. It's not if you're going to die from an opioid overdose. It is when you're going to die from an opioid overdose, because you might be a young kid who takes one pill, and you don't even know what the hell's in that pill, and you die, and you don't even know you're taking a fentanyl pill.
Right.
You may die from taking that one pill one time, or you may start to take these pills, and they are the most addictive drug to the human body that's possibly imaginable, and eventually that drug will kill you. So it's your choice. It's when you die from fentanyl, not if you die from fentanyl.
What is the current administration's acknowledgement and plan to combat this?
Well, so they just talk the talk, right? Oh, yeah, we want to combat fentanyl, so we want to talk to the Chinese about it. We want to talk to the Mexicans about it. We're out there. My favorite one is, well, of course, we don't need to secure the border because all the fentanyl is coming through the points of entry. It's like, no, you Yahoo. You catch fentanyl at the points of entry because that's where the people are. But the fentanyl that's coming in where there's nobody, that fentanyl's not getting caught. So this notion about, well, all the fentanyl is at the point of entry, that's just a lie. As a matter of fact, one of the things they do is they actually use the human smugglers to tie down the Border Patrol, and there's been so much time processing the illegal aliens that they just walk across with the fentanyl. So if they're saying they're addressing this fentanyl crisis, they're lying. And if you just look at the numbers, of course, everybody's probably seen the stuff about Big Pharma and the addiction, OxyContin and everything. And it was a huge national problem. You had doctors basically being paid to be drug peddlers. Okay, so we cracked down on Big Pharma, but the cat's out of the bag because anybody can make fentanyl. And so then the real route now is illegal drug dispensing. It's no longer just go and steal the OxyContin from your parents' medicine cabinet, because we've kind of wised up on that we just don't hand out OxyContin for everything. But it's an illegal drug problem, and what this administration doesn't have is a strategy to combat illegal drug smuggling into the United States, because you have to do two things. One is secure the border so the drugs can't come in. The other is, people will start to try to make it here like they made methamphetamines, but it's a lot easier to shut down drug labs, right? Than it is to compete with a multi-billion-dollar industry run by criminals that are trying to sneak drugs into your country. If you're not paying attention to it.
I heard Ron DeSantis, who's no longer in the race, talk about using our military forces to combat the drug smugglers, the cartels that are on our southern border. I mean, the rampant control that they have, even north of the border, of how certain things are handled is shocking to people. If we get a president into the Oval Office who wants to stop it in its tracks, does it involve human material going across the southern border, defending the southern border?
Well, now that Ron's out of the race, I can. I mean, when you're running for office, it's great to have a bumper sticker. That sounds like it solves all the problems. So we're going to have the military go out and stop the cartels. Sounds good if you've read a lot of Tom Clancy novels. Look, it starts with securing the border. The military can help secure the border. They did under Trump, but it's not throwing the military at the problem. It's securing the border. And the other thing is if you want to boil it down to the one simple thing, it's the money, stupid, right? If you take the money off the table, whether it's money laundering or buying the drugs or that is the biggest crimp. And then it is about taking down the organization. I mean, with cartels are different than terrorists because cartels have a hierarchical structure, and so if you can take out people in the structure, yes, you will degrade the organization. You're not going to get rid of criminal activities, but you're going to make the cartels much less inefficient and much more easier to deal with. There's lots of ways to do that. You can use DEA. You can use other countries to do that. You might use. So there's a place for something, but it's not a bumper sticker.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I live in Washington D.C. where crime is going through the roof. Shockingly, the city, which had an official strategy of defund the police, their way to deal with rising crime is to put more police out there, right? So you unsecure the border and you have unprecedented drug trafficking and opioid deaths. This may shock you, but my guess is if we secure the border, we would actually have a pretty impressive collapse of drug smuggling and opioid deaths.
Yeah, it's got to be not a day one initiative, an hour one initiative. And Trump has said so. If he were to be elected, that would be top priority for him. He had the policies in place already, and they were functioning policies. So I'm looking forward to getting back to something with some sensibility. There's too much at stake not to.
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing, look, I mean, people that are addicts and want to be addicts and find a drug, if they don't find God or some kind of substance abuse or abstinence, think they're going to destroy their lives. I get that, but what we could take out is just the deaths from of just the person that takes a pill, right? So just the easiness to get that stuff. It's we still have meth,
right?
You don't have zombies walking all over inner cities, from smoking meth because we made meth harder to get. It didn't eliminate the problem. But we took the easy stuff off the table, and that's what we have. We still have kids that die from drunk driving. But we have an age that you can't drink before 21, and you can't drive until you have a driver's license. I mean, it's not taking kids' deaths to zero, but we took the easy stuff off the table. The people that just don't actually want to die in a drunk driving accident, we made it easier for them, just like wearing seatbelts. So, cracking down on this flood of opioids across the border will save a lot of lives and a lot of costs, from medical costs and tragedy and everything else, and lost productivity and everything else off the table. Think about this. I know we got to run, but we have the highest debt that we've ever had in our history. Joe Biden has spent trillions of dollars of our tax dollars, debt, we haven't even paid for it yet, to make America a better place. Trillions of dollars. And if the Biden answer, which is we can just throw money at something and would solve the problem, name one problem that it solved. It hasn't solved the drug problem, hasn't solved border, hasn't solved immigration, hasn't solved energy, hasn't solved inflation. It hasn't solved one problem. You know, it's a different topic, right? But we were talking about this the other day. All these diversity, equity, and inclusion programs that we put into place and the U.S. government has spent millions and tens of hundreds of millions of dollars on, every place where they've had put in DEI infrastructure, mental health has declined. Productivity has declined. So what are we getting? If the answer is throw the money at it, then Joe Biden's presidency has proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that won't work. It's like, think about all the people that go to Vegas to get rich, right? How many of them actually come home rich?
Yeah, the correlation is significant, needs to be paid attention to. And
yeah, well, I'm sorry, it's actually a bad example because your odds of being better off are better going to Vegas with all your money and just throwing it at a roulette table than they are depending on Joe Biden to make life better for you.
Yeah, well, we'll have to choose accordingly. I appreciate your conversation, Jim, and I always look forward to these because we've been talking about the border so frequently, and sometimes it feels like Groundhog Day, and it kind of is because the problems are the same and worse than they were years ago. We need some drastic policy changes in order to rectify them, and you give us suggestions each week, so we're always grateful for it.
So the Annie Frey Show gives me stress management.
I'm happy.
No matter how stressed I am, I just yell at Annie Frey for 5 minutes, and I'm a little better.
Yeah, well, we all are better for it. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate you. He's a senior counselor to the president and the E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. That might be the bumper sticker for the show. We know which one didn't work for DeSantis. Now we know what might work for the Annie Frey Show. Let's take a quick break. I want to know what you think about our YouTube live chat poll. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Yes or no? We've had, 8 years of watching Donald Trump campaign. Has he gotten better at it? Because there are certainly things that we have discussed over the course of those years. Many people wish that, how many people have said to you, I just wish he would. That's what we need to see from Donald Trump. Is he getting there? Yes or no? Let us know on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is online at igotfloored.com. Have you visited their website yet? When you reach out to them online, or of course, if you go into their store or one of their stores, did you know that they have 3 in the St. Louis area region? St. Charles County on Main Street in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. You can visit Michael's Flooring Outlet in West County on Olive Boulevard, a mile off of 270 West on Olive. You can also visit Michael's Flooring Outlet in Darting Prairie. Online, of course, at igotfloored.com. You'll be able to look through all the different types of flooring options that they have for you. The Mohawk Smart Strand carpet line, the Techwood Plus line, all of the different types of flooring that you might be shopping through, the different finishes, the different padding levels that might go under the carpet. When you make an investment at Michael's Flooring Outlet, you're going to be confident that that investment is going to be a good one, that you're going to get great quality, but not have to sacrifice value in order to do that. Michael's Flooring Outlet is a reliable, family-owned and operated business right here in St. Louis, connecting you with the flooring that you need, both residentially and commercially. If you're looking to make a flooring purchase, start your search online at igotfloored.com.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed early bird special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. That's right. Seminars Tuesday, January 30th at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights, and Wednesday, January 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminar.com. markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Scott Moorfield with us. He writes for Town Hall.
The people like DeSantis. They love Trump. I don't think it was DeSantis so much as just love for Trump.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Okay. Do the people who do that song, does it start with an F?
Give me three steps. Give me three
see.
steps.
Let me see. Who starts with an F?
Well, it's not Foghat.
Is it?
No.
God dang it.
No, give me three steps is, I'm typing it in because I can't think of
You
it.
can't think of that? It's Leonard Skinner.
Is it?
Is it? Oh, I didn't know that was Leonard Skinner. Skinner?
Skinner.
Give me three steps. Give me three steps. Yeah, okay. Gosh, how did I not link that to Leonard Skinner? Well, there you go. It did not start with an F to answer your question.
Is Foghat
Slow ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slow ride. Take it easy.
They kind of sound the same.
Well, it's
definitely same
Southern
era.
rock.
Yeah, type of music. Sure.
Kind of embarrassing that I didn't know it was Leonard Skinner because everybody.
Well, I
knows.
didn't either. So.
Well, it also
I'm
wasn't
embarrassed for you. Actually, it's just transferable.
You should be.
Also wasn't Freebird or Sweet Home Alabama. So
Hey, look, and I'll admit, I love classic rock. I've never been a big Southern rock Skinner guy, though. That's not my jam.
I am actually very proud of myself that I said F and you thought Foghat, which meant that to me, my guess was not it wasn't outrageous.
It wasn't outrageous if you were thinking of Foghat. Now, if you just said a letter hoping somebody would take it and run with it, then I guess I've done my job. Tip of the hat to me.
No. I am publicly embarrassed, but privately a little proud of myself.
I can see that. Good job.
Let's get to the business of the day. Donald Trump is doing his rally in New Hampshire, and he's advocating for people to support him. It's taking place tonight. One last opportunity to go out and talk to people. And I think that Donald Trump, at this point right now, is running in a general election in his mind. And he's seen the writing on the wall. It's going to be him. I think that he's starting to shift a little bit, or a lot of bit. I don't think that it just started here recently. I think that this is something, when we spoke with Harris Faulkner at 12:25 today, she pointed back to the Martha McCallum, Brett Baer interview that he did, and he was presidential. He wasn't bombastic, name-calling, bomb-throwing Donald Trump. And I think that we're starting to see a difference, but I don't right now know if I have the confidence that this is the guy. Maybe in his age and experience and wisdom, he has refined a little bit who he wants to be. But I don't know. There's still a bit of Donald Trump, kind of nostalgic Donald Trump. And I want to highlight those opportunities when they happen.
These are not muscle guys here. They're muscle guys up here, right? And they calmly walk to a seat. Ding, 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 ding. They've only got 17 seconds to figure this whole thing out, right? Boom. Okay. Missile launch. Pshin, boom.
What?
He's talking about
These are muscle guys.
the people. They're not muscle guys. And he says they're not muscle guys here. And he points to his bicep. He says they're muscle guys up here. And he points to his brain.
Oh, see, I thought he was pointing at legs versus arms.
No, he's basically talking upper body guys, lower body guys. He's basically talking about the brain smart wizards that bomb people. But his way of explaining it.
These are not muscle guys here. They're muscle guys up here, right? And they calmly walk to a seat. Ding, 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 ding. They've only got 17 seconds to figure this whole thing out, right? Boom. Okay. Missile launch. Pshin, boom.
That is an exercise in onomatopoeia. That is fantastic.
That's good.
That will be used for generations by English teachers.
Onomatopoeia, like President Trump.
That's incredible.
I love it.
I do too.
It's nostalgic Trump.
So is he saying they come, these muscle guys, as in smart people?
Just the smartest people.
Brain muscle guys.
What he's saying is they've got 17 seconds to figure out how to blow a missile out of the sky, I think.
Yeah.
And they're capable of doing it.
That's
they have
what I was going to
17
ask.
seconds to come in, and he was talking about sitting there watching them do their thing, which to him looks like ding,
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 ding, ding, ding, ding. It sounds like pinball.
Whoosh.
Yeah. Ding, 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 and it's gone. It's Ender's Game.
Bah.
Yeah.
And they calmly walk to a seat. Ding, 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 ding. They've only got 17 seconds to figure this whole thing out, right? Boom. Okay. Missile launch. Pshin, boom.
I think it's funny to think about it. The ping, ping, ping makes it sound like it's just like this little pea bouncing off a tin can.
It just sounds like
it should
he's
be like
describing. Yeah. He's describing 70s pinball.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, bing, bing, bing. And then
I haven't looked, and shame on me for not looking at. But that has to be memed all over the internet by now.
I haven't seen it at all.
Oh, it's so funny.
You know what? Any other presidential candidate does that, and people are laughing at them. With him, we're laughing with him. I don't know what it is.
The thing that I love about it the most, and the reason it's so nostalgic for me, is because when The View sees that, when MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, Lawrence O'Donnell, who's the guy with the glasses?
Chris Hayes.
Okay. It's so weird that you...
He's just ready to go.
All
That
I
guy.
said.
Yeah.
The guy with the glasses.
Guy with the glasses. Oh, that's Chris
Hayes. These guys are going to hear that and be so angry that we would even be considering putting the future of our country into ding, 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 dong, poof guy.
Poof is what their head's going to do.
And what Donald Trump is really saying there is we have the most amazing technology, but people who are there to protect us and keep us safe. But he's doing it in his Trump way, which is a little bit out of the ordinary. And like, imagine if Joe Biden walked out on the stage and said that, they would admit him after that.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of what I'm saying.
They would be like, come on, Joe. Come on. It's going to be okay. The sun's going down.
I would love to hear
there, big guy.
Yeah. I would if Joe did that. I want to hear it.
And if Joe Biden did it, Trump would make fun of him.
Yes, he would.
For doing it. But here's Trump doing it because he gives zero poops.
Blanks. Yeah, some poops.
Gives zero poops. How many poops do you give about it? It's just...
I give zero. I give zero poops.
Working on that?
Some say the least.
No. Run with it, Brad. Run with it. We got something here. That's great.
Oh, it just doesn't. It doesn't get old.
Give zero poops, some say the least. That's good. Cut that, Leah.
Missile launch, pshing, boom.
Pshing, boom. I need to know the spelling of it. Did you write out the spelling on this? Oh, you just put whoosh, boom.
I also just love the idea of Trump trying to avoid saying cuss words because in his private life he would never. He would just say the cuss word, but in public, like he's like, "Oh, I gotta watch. I'll say poops."
Ding, 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 ding.
It just when people want, it's very funny to watch the left-leaning media put this out there. And yeah, I'm going to be honest. I only consume it in clips on Twitter because I don't watch those stupid channels unless I'm forced to. The only time I tune in actively, like turn the channel on the TV over to MSNBC or maybe CNN, is like maybe tonight after Donald Trump wins New Hampshire. It's just one of those lean and peek around the corner things.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing?
What are you guys saying?
And then you go,
yeah.
and then you just turn it back. Like, it's only so much you can take.
He's got him over a barrel so bad because he can do something like that and then go, yeah, but remember when there were no new wars during my administration? Because I was the president of the United States. Whereas most other people can't do that. They can't scoreboard on their active military record, you know?
So then they lose their mind when he says
Missile launch, pshing, boom.
They'll play that, and then they'll just sit there in stunned silence, and
And stare at the camera.
and we're all like, "No, we're laughing with him and at you."
Yes.
They're like,
I know that you don't want it to be like that.
Yes.
Matt, I was like, this is real life. You're not dreaming right now.
Yeah, and
It's also very good, Brad.
and it's good when you know the things are going well in the country when they're staring directly into the camera and they're talking really slow, so even you can understand
Yeah.
what they're saying.
Yeah.
The gravity, the words. I'll speak slowly to you. I will blink a lot in my pregnant pauses so that you can understand how serious, how absolutely serious this is.
Ding, 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 ding.
Trump's winning on their shows, not even talking to them. Whenever Vanity Fair uses the word bonkers in a headline, they'll say something like, Nikki Haley was asked about whatever and gave a bonkers answer. It's that the answer probably was pretty decent, and they just don't know how to frame it poorly. So they just say, this bonkers answer that so-and-so gave. Those are the best ones. I always read them.
Donald Trump says that Nikki Haley was responsible for not having the proper law enforcement response on January 6th. And then the left-leaning media all automatically goes, Donald Trump's mental acuity is in jeopardy. He confused Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi. I'm like, so you're saying that Nancy Pelosi was the one responsible for not having the proper police reaction here? This is what you're saying? And I know that Donald Trump, I know in my head, in my heart, that Donald Trump just screwed up names. But there's just this one inkling in me is like, did you do that on purpose?
It's 4D chess, Annie.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, so we're going to sit here and he interchanged one name here, probably. I mean, you can infer that he was talking about Nancy Pelosi, but the obvious reaction to all the people in the leftist-leaning media that are just really piling on how we should be concerned about Donald Trump's mental acuity and his age. Projection much? I mean, we all know what you're doing. We all know what you're not saying, and you're saying it by not saying it ever. Ever, ever, ever. It's predictable at the least.
You know what that was? The credibility.
Yeah. Missile launch from Trump.
Missile launch, pshing, boom.
Credibility. I'm going to lean heavy into that sound.
Please. It's just enjoyable.
When it gets to the point at the end of the show where I just don't have much left, we're just going to go back into that because it makes me laugh every time.
Once I knew the context of what he was talking about, I actually can see exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
I'm just
probably better than if he was using real words.
I'm just imagining him being in the room, observing these guys doing that, making all his Trumpian facial expression, like, oh.
Or making the sound effects while they're pushing the buttons.
Yeah.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop.
The bleeps, the creeps, and the sweeps.
We've been jammed.
Okay. I could also do an entire segment of Spaceballs.
Spaceballs quotes?
But we won't, because we have some guests coming in the studio here in just a minute. Hard to transition out of that into Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, but we're going to. They're going to come in and talk to you about the event. I'm excited to participate in this event. January 30th. It's Tuesday at the Frontenac Hilton. It's the Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's free to attend. If you are interested in signing up, please go to retirementkey.com or register at 314-993-9494 and get your free spot reserved. I'll be there from 6 to 6:30. The event starts at 6:30. We'll see you there. We'll talk to them about what's going on in the economy here in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
RulerFoods.com. You stretch your grocery dollars further every time you shop at Ruler Foods. We certainly do. Feeding a family of 6 costs a little bit of money, and I'm excited to save every penny that I can when I grocery shop or when my husband grocery shops, and Ruler Foods helps us every time we visit there. When you show up at Ruler Foods and you go in the store, you're going to be, if it's the first time you've gone, you're going to be surprised at how simple it is to shop there. Very clean and organized aisles so that when you're walking through, if it's your first time, the store makes sense to me. It'll make sense to you as well. They've got great produce. They've got great frozen food sections. They've got a great meat department as well. All of the name brands that you love, you're going to find those at Ruler Foods, but they also carry Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices. They have avocados or mangoes, 77 cents each. A Kroger 80% lean ground beef sold in a 3-pound roll, $3.66 a pound. General Mills bag cereals, $5.99 each. You can get those Big K 2 liters as well for 99 cents a piece. Save on all of the staples for your kitchen and make your grocery budget stretch even further by shopping at Ruler Foods. You can find the ad available to you right now on their website. You can also find the location closest to you at rulerfoods.com.
I hate winter, but as a kid, I used to love it snowing. And my dog, when it snows, he's just like me being a little Hoosier. When it snows, we wake up and we would just run outside. We didn't care what we had on and just run around and build snowmen, roll around in the snow. He does the exact same thing. He can't build snowmen. He wants to do snow angels. But if you can picture this, he's a big German Shepherd, all right? He's good size. But he's got little legs and little arms. He doesn't know he's a dog, but he wants to make snow angels, so he tries his best, and he just ends up just rolling around in circles for the longest time. You got to love it. With that being said, keep the calls coming. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. And BartInman.com. That is a B for Bart. How do I say? Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Well, I'm really hoping that the last segment we just did will impact your choice on this poll today. It's the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Yes or no? Let us know what you think about that question. Simply yes or no. But of course, you can comment. We'd love to see your comments and why you believe what you believe. We have quite a few comments on this today. We'll be reading those in the 2 o'clock hour, I'm sure. It's the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Yes or no? Let us know. 148. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
St. Louis's destination for questioning the narrative.
Your home for conservative talk.
This is 97.1 FM Talk.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I heaver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's heavering to you. But
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Happy Tuesday. Uh-oh, Brad. Clip sheet says Monday, and I almost dropped a Monday on there.
Oh, no.
It's
well,
Tuesday.
You said you don't look at the clip sheet.
I do, too. I just
said,
did.
You said this show sheet's the important one.
That's all right. You can put the wrong day on all the other things. I don't even pay attention.
I am reading from the teleprompter.
Exactly. Stay classy, St. Louis. I want to remind you of the YouTube live chat poll on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Yes or no? Tell us what you think. We'll read your comments in the 2 o'clock hour. We'll talk about that at about 2:05. But right now, I've got my friends in the studio with me right now, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisor Group. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, Annie. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you doing, Bob?
Doing great, Annie. Appreciate you having us.
Of course. I want to know right now, the economy. I hear from the President Biden, that the economy is the best it's ever been.
Well, that has to be true then, right?
All right, great segment, guys.
Yeah, all right, wrapping it up right
Wrap
there.
it up.
Nothing to see here. There are things in the economy that are better than they have been before, but I don't think that there are things that are felt by the everyday American individual.
No.
When you're going to the grocery store, when you're going to the gas pump, when you're trying to save money, make the savings account last a little bit longer. I mean, when you're talking to your clients at the Retirement Advisory Group, what are their concerns right now?
Their concerns are inflation. Their concerns about we're going into election year, which means more market volatility. You won't hear this from the Biden administration, but there are more jobs laying off now. Unemployment is going to start increasing. The economy is not getting really good. The market's been doing good, but at some point the market's going to turn. If you've been listening to Jamie Dimon, J.P. Morgan Chase, they're all the top CEOs of all these large companies are selling millions and millions of shares of all their stock. They're getting out of the market. Now, why? They know something more than we do.
That's exactly
Warren Buffett is out of the market. He's in cash. I mean, these are all in the last month this has happened. So there's going to be some changes coming, and that's the scary part.
And that's what we're going to be educating you on next Tuesday, January 30th, is how you can link to the market, how you can protect your money. You can get it safe now instead of waiting until last minute, until the market's crashing and you're running around trying to hurry up and save what you have left. We will educate you on how to link, how to save all the money that you've worked your entire lives for.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I'm glad that we have the Retirement Advisory Group is a sponsor of this show, because I like to be able to turn you over to people who know about this, especially the specific time of somebody's life where you guys come in to help. It's different than where I am right now. Like if I'm thinking, I'm 39 years old. If I'm
you have time on your side.
If it goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. I got a little bit of.
You could weather the risk. You have time on your side. But if you're nearing retirement or you're already retired, folks, linking to the market is the smartest and safer way to go. You could get the gains of the market without ever losing a penny, and that's the reason why in the last 38 years, none of our clients have ever lost a penny.
So
and we will teach you how we do this.
It's a
next
timing
Tuesday.
thing, and when you are not where I am or where Brad or Ryan might be, because we've got a lot of years left to still work and try to bring income in, when you've got to pay yourself off of what you saved, you don't want to time it wrong where you go into that right after, like I'm thinking about 2008.
Exactly.
You
If there's
cannot
a-
chance that again.
You
A
can't.
massive market
and end up
downturn.
losing half of your life savings. Then now you got to put off retirement. You may have to work another 10 years. Why go through that when there's a safer, smarter way to invest? Roll over your 401ks. We'll teach you what to do. Next Tuesday night, 6:30 at the Frontenac Hilton. Please call 314-993-9494 or go online.
You could go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com. You don't want to wait. You want to get your seats reserved now because it does
We're filling
fill
up
up
fast. We really are.
Especially after the Annie show.
I like to hear that, Mark. And Mark, did you hear what they said? I do need support. We have a fun little game that we play here. We want to make sure that we turn out as many people as we can to participate in this. I selfishly like it because I get to meet you from 6 to 6:30, and if you want to show up and listen to what they have to say, it doesn't cost you anything. But I like shaking your hand and getting to know you. I remember just an anecdote from somebody who had come to one of the events at the Frontenac Hilton. I was talking to them, and that night my son was playing baseball, so I was hanging out with you guys for a little bit, and then I was hustling back to Illinois to watch a baseball game, and they were kind of laughing about how they worked so hard to travel and spent so much money over travel ball and all of that over the years. Kid did get a scholarship. They told me, they go, we spent more money in traveling than we got out of the scholarship. And it was just kind of funny to think about that because they were reflecting on the time that they had spent doing this. They didn't have any regrets about it, but the different time of life makes a really big difference. So being able to come to this event and sitting down and listening to what you guys have to say, it costs you nothing other than a little bit of your time. And I appreciate too, Thomas, how when folks come to this event, it starts at 6:30. It's not like a 3-hour seminar at all.
We're done at 7:30. I only talk for about 45 minutes. That's it, because I don't want to take up your evening. But folks, you will learn the concept and the strategies we've been teaching our clients for 38 years. Come learn. Get your retirement accounts safe and protected and still get the growth without risking a penny. And you'll save money on fees and you'll save money on losses. You'll never lose your money again. Come learn what we do.
Yeah, Ryan, when we talk about where we are in life, raising kids and everything, the idea of having to time the market correctly, because we were also in the working world in 2008 when everything was bottoming out. But most people our age probably weren't even participants in the economy at that time. It's weird to look ahead and think about having to secure all of that stuff when right now all we're doing is thinking saving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have the luxury of being able to sort of zoom out on the graph a little bit and not deal with the up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, which I guess you guys do too. Actually, that's technically what you guys are doing, is not having to focus on the up, down, the quickness of it.
Right.
When you kind of can zoom out and just look at the overall up arrow.
The reason there's no way to time the market, nobody has that crystal ball, or we'd all be billionaires. So you can't wait until it's too late, and that's what we're going to help you with.
Well, thank you both for coming in.
Thanks for having us, Annie.
I hope you're staying warm. Thanks for bringing in the warmer weather.
Yes, I hope so.
The last 48 hours.
It beats zero, doesn't it?
Yeah, should have had you in
But
here
again,
sooner.
folks, call 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com. Don't miss this event.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, great sponsors of the show, the station, at the Retirement Advisor Group. I hope to see you there. Make sure you reach out to them. Let them know that Annie sent you. And see you Tuesday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton. We're going to take a quick break, 2 o'clock hour, and your answers to the YouTube live chat poll when we come back.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code SMELLBETTER and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code SMELLBETTER. LUMEdeodorant.com, code SMELLBETTER for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code SMELLBETTER.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's New Hampshire's turn. Lisa Brady, Fox News. And as voting continues for the first in the nation primary, former President Trump is sounding confident and tapping into a top concern for many voters.
You see what's going on with the border. There's never been anything like it on the border. Millions and millions of people are pouring into our country illegally.
Also telling reporters at a polling place in Londonderry he does not think Nikki Haley is a threat. Haley, who finished third in the Iowa caucuses, tells Fox News she's not dropping out after New Hampshire regardless of the results.
We've had 56,000 people vote for Donald Trump, and you're going to say that's what the country wants? That's not what the country wants. We're going to have New Hampshire vote today. They deserve to have the power of their voice said.
We'll have live coverage tonight beginning at 6:06 p.m. Eastern Time at foxnewsradio.com. New Hampshire is holding a primary for Democrats, but while challengers are on the ballot, President Biden is not, after the party made South Carolina first. His supporters launching a write-in campaign in New Hampshire, while the president and vice president hold a joint campaign rally in Virginia today on abortion rights. North Dakota's abortion ban stands. A judge just rejecting a request to block part of the law temporarily, while a legal fight continues over doctors being allowed to perform an abortion to save a patient's life or health. The White House says a post-war Gaza cannot include Hamas leaders.
We have been very consistent that whatever governance looks like in Gaza after this is over, it's got to be representative of the aspirations of the Palestinian people who are not represented by Hamas.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby also says the U.S. would support a longer humanitarian pause amid reports that Hamas rejected an Israeli proposal for a 2-month pause in exchange for all hostages in Gaza being released. America is listening to Fox News.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get $5 off at AlignProbiotics.com.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go. Now I'm getting a cold.
Honey. Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We can certainly feel the difference in temperature as we hang around 45 degrees for the high this afternoon. A little bit of drizzle around, lots of clouds, a steady rain kicking back in overnight tonight, and it's all liquid rain. 40 for the overnight low. Wednesday periods of rain even warmer. 52, rain continues Wednesday night, 42, and Thursday mostly cloudy, just a couple of rain showers and 55. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
We are Under Law, your St. Louis legal powerhouse. Auto accidents, work injuries, pharmaceutical litigations, we do it all.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Frey, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Do you worry about losing your nest egg with the volatility of the stock market? Would you like to know why linking to the market is smarter and safer than owning the market? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any losses and provide more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
With over 25 years of experience, Mr. Appliance can fix almost any appliance you have, extending its life, saving you time and money. Call Mr. Appliance today to schedule an appointment. Services performed by independently owned and operated franchises and may vary by location.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Shows that make a difference in your day.
Your home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon on 97.1 FM Talk. Ryan, I should have prefaced this with you on the break, but we've got coverage tonight of the New Hampshire primary. What's 97.1 doing for our listeners to make sure they got it covered?
So starting at 6, it'll be live coverage of the results, just like we did with Iowa caucuses. And we'll see how late we have to go in the night. I think we have maybe planned coverage through about 10, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, we should know. I would think this isn't going to be like a nail biter one way or the other. If it is, it'll be more interesting. But if it's not, we have you covered either way. 6 o'clock through roughly 10 o'clock, and it's just basically like horse race live coverage. So
with Fox,
yeah.
Yeah, so you'll have the best of the best right here on 97.1 FM Talk. So keep it here. Mark Reardon's show is going to take place, of course, as it always does, right after we get done, and you'll have the coverage that you've come to expect from Fox News 97.1 FM Talk. We're going to have it for you all throughout the entire election year. It's a very exciting time, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens tonight. I got basketball tonight, so I'm gonna, let's see. The results will 7 o'clock our time. Will that be when they
Is that when?
start
So I
coming
don't
in?
know if they announce them right away. I don't know how each state is so different that I don't know if all the results come in at the same time. Because I know with New Hampshire they have a lot of weird rules about when you can start voting, when you can stop voting, and stuff. So I don't know exactly when we'll know fully, but it's always a rollout of knowing, how many points ahead somebody is, and
I'll be
so
the
forth.
parent sitting in the corner of the gym watching Fox News on my phone while also watching my son play basketball.
I'll be doing the same thing. Not at basketball practice, but
At my son's game, that's weird.
yeah.
Ryan.
In the corner for sure, because I don't want you to
Why
know
are
I'm
you
there.
here? I wanted to watch Fox News with you.
I don't have a subscription. I would
Yeah.
try to watch yours.
I don't know. I go back and forth on those things because it's important, and I want to know how the evening unfolds. I need to know about it so that I can come here and talk about it the next day. And I also think that the way that, the news headline, the notification you're going to get on your phone if you get news alerts or whatever is going to be, this is what it's going to say. New Hampshire primary notes Republican winner. So you have to click on it.
Yep.
It's not going to say Trump wins New Hampshire primary. Haley upsets in New Hampshire primary. It's going to say winner declared or something like that. But if that takes a few hours into the night, which they will prepare for, that's part of the story. If it's like Iowa where polls close and they're like, Trump wins, and people are still in line to caucus, that's part of the story. So it's kind of important for me to be able to take that in. I always hear the reaction if I don't take place in the actual unfolding of the night. I'll hear people complaining about, oh, they called it too soon, and this is a shame, and blah, blah, blah. And it really sounds like sour grapes if that's all that you hear. If you have the context of experiencing sitting down, getting ready for the results to be revealed, boom, there are the results. And then you hear, I'm getting reports that there are still people in such and such county in line to caucus and their phones are going off and they're getting alerts, then that's like, well, that's kind of ridiculous. And I feel in the moment a little empathy for the people who are going, how can you have called the race when I had, does my vote not count? Because it doesn't at that point.
Right.
So, but if I only consume it after the fact, I'm like, yeah, but he won 52% of the vote. Like he trounced him. So does it really matter? It makes a difference to me to consume it in real time.
Ultimately, the headline is what's going to matter here, and that's what most of America is going to either see it tonight or tomorrow morning. They're going to see who won the New Hampshire primary. Most people will be at least a little bit interested in knowing that. But you're right about the way this unfolds. To me, the biggest story that I would like to see as this unfolds tonight is how does Nikki Haley respond to it? Obviously, if she does well, she's going to say, all right, here we go. This is when our campaign really started. But if she doesn't, what is she going to say? Because in Iowa, she said, it's a two-person race now. She got third and said it was a two-person race now and ended up being right. That's interesting.
Was that a slip of the tongue or did she know?
I think that was all strategy. It was all framing of the way she wanted this to be perceived. And in some sense, it worked.
If Donald Trump more than doubles the vote total that Ron DeSantis got in Iowa, I think Nikki Haley wasn't supposed to finish according to the way things played out. The expectation was that she would finish third, and that if she finished a close third compared to, a single digit, whatever, that in her mind and in her campaign strategy would be considering progress and ascension. Whereas Ron DeSantis, if he doesn't pull off a win and then Donald Trump goes and gets 50+%, that the understanding would be pretty easy to arrive at that Ron DeSantis is done. And
right.
He said, he kept saying, we punched our ticket out of Iowa, and then he pulled out.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know. That's obviously didn't happen. So I have reflected on her saying, you've made this a two-person race and people making fun of her and us kind of, I think we played that sound too and going, two? Without knowing at the time that DeSantis was going to drop out. It makes me wonder if she said that as a little bit of a jab, understanding what would naturally come next.
I don't know. So tonight, regardless of what happens, if Nikki Haley gets absolutely trounced, she's still not going to drop out of the race before her home state of South Carolina.
She's going to get thumped.
Why?
in South
Why
Carolina,
wouldn't
too.
she though? Yeah, if she's going to get embarrassed, why would she stay in to embarrass herself?
I just wonder if she's not going to go at least through South Carolina because she could maybe revive her campaign there. I don't know that that'll happen.
I don't know.
But that would be her hope that would happen.
Like looking at South Carolina. South Carolina has two senators, and they're both Republicans, and they both have endorsed somebody, and both of them have endorsed somebody not named Nikki Haley in this. I mean,
I just don't know if that goes that far. It's humiliating for her for that to happen.
Well, it's not that, but that's just an indication of what's going on in South Carolina. Tim Scott and Lindsey Graham can both read the tea leaves. They know what way the wind's blowing there, and they know what's going to happen.
That's like all you can say about Lindsey Graham.
He's really good at that one thing, though.
Yeah,
he can read a room
without shame.
And I think Annie's got a point here. I don't know that you want to go to your home state and get embarrassed, and that is what it's looking like is going to happen in South Carolina.
She did, though. At least at this point, it looks like she got what she was wanting. I mean, it's a narrow path. I'm not saying she's going to get it, but this was the only way she had a chance, is to make it a two-person race, which essentially it has become.
Yeah.
And so for her to drop out that quickly after she got what she wanted, I just don't know that she will.
Well, I mean, New Hampshire is her, for lack of a better example, New Hampshire is to her what Iowa was to Ron DeSantis. And Ron DeSantis didn't get in. It's not that Ron DeSantis didn't finish high enough, and he just didn't get a big enough chunk of the vote. And the problem that Nikki Haley is going to have is what she needed it to be a two-person race, which means that to overtake Trump, she needed a significant amount of DeSantis voters to then jump to Team Haley. That isn't what's looking like is going to happen. It looks like most of them, and I think policy-wise it makes sense to think that, DeSantis voters are more likely to go with a Trump than they are with a Nikki Haley. They mostly went to Trump. All of Ramaswamy voters went to Trump. So she got, tens of Chris Christie voters? And so she's kind of peaked at where she's at. I don't know that she's going to, after New Hampshire, if she doesn't win or at least come within, 5 or 10 points, she's done. I mean, she's done.
I hope so. I don't think that there's room right now for a Nikki Haley in the Republican Party to lead the Republican Party. I really don't want to go down the John McCain, Mitt Romney road. We've done this before. It was a dramatic failure, and it's really more of the same. I don't dislike Nikki Haley the way a lot of other people detest her, but it is a version of Republican politics that I just don't want to do anymore. And I don't think that a Nikki Haley presidency dramatically gets the country back in shape the way it needs to get back in shape as quickly as it needs to get in shape. And I mean, we are gonna live and die by Donald Trump and the Republican Party until he's ineligible.
Until we either live or die by Donald Trump.
He is going to win this next election and no longer, he's going to get 4 years. Or he's going to lose the next election and continue every single day past that election to be the only thing that matters to Republicans and Democrats alike. Every conversation centers around Donald Trump. And if he wins and gets 4 more years, that's it. That's the end. And when I think about Donald Trump selecting a vice president, last night his head communications person, is it Katie Levitt, something like that. I hope I'm getting that name right. Was on with Jesse Waters, and they were talking about the vice presidential possibilities for the ticket. And he had said previously that he knows who the VP is. And then he's followed up on that and said they're 25% sure who the VP is, which at that point I'm like, you're just saying words. Yeah. You're just making up numbers. So I assume that the possibility of it being one direction or the other still exists, and that there are influences that could take place. Is a Trump DeSantis ticket a possibility? I think it is a possibility. I don't think it's likely. While I would love to see it, one of the things that the spokesperson said last night on Jesse Waters' primetime was that Donald Trump cares deeply about positioning the next person to be able to successfully run and win. And that was an interesting point. To me, I'm thinking, well, That should have been obvious. But I'm going to say this. It's not obvious with Trump. Because with Trump, it's all about Trump all of the time. And to think that he would be factoring in the person who's on his ticket as legacy, maybe for him it's the Trump legacy, but I'd like to think of it as the America First legacy, because the America First legacy includes me, not just Trump. Maybe two things can be true at the same time, and I'm okay with that if Donald Trump is looking at his own legacy. But how drastically and dramatically did things change on day one of Joe Biden becoming the president? For the policies, the plans, the processes that were put in place by the Trump administration, how quickly did that all come crumbling down when Joe Biden became the president? Donald Trump needs to be very smart and logical and logistical in how he picks his vice presidential candidate. And I don't think that you can pick somebody. I mean, I don't think Mike Pence was picked to become the next president. And at the time in 2016, when you're talking about hopefully 8 years, you get to the end of those 8 years of that vice president, and you might be kind of ready to do something differently. This is a really unique situation where Donald Trump gets to pick somebody who he can put as the front runner for the nomination for the Republican Party in just 4 years. This is going to happen very quickly. Should he win the election, he needs to tee up the next person to be able to win over the American people and be effective as a vice president to then become the president of the United States. And I also think that the vice presidential candidate in this particular instance, I would like to see them take a much more active role in the administration. There are a lot of things that need to be addressed. I mean, good grief. Joe Biden put Kamala Harris in charge of the southern freaking border. Well done, Kamala Harris, czar. I mean, if you can just say, the sovereign borders of the country, vice president, and just shoo them down the line, I would like to see Ron DeSantis have a crack at that, or have a crack at fentanyl, or have a crack at rebuilding our military because he's from there and he understands what enriches people that are serving, what brings people in like himself to want to serve. There are so many different areas where I would like to see the vice president take a more active role. Name something that Mike Pence was in charge of.
COVID response.
Okay, and that didn't happen until the last year of the presidency.
Yeah.
Name something else.
I don't remember anything else.
Fact.
Yeah, I'm not pulling up anything either.
What was he there for? I mean,
just in case.
Plan B. Name what Kamala Harris has been put in charge of. Like, we can think of many things.
Yeah, the border is the big one, but it's like anytime something comes along that Joe Biden doesn't want to deal with or they don't want him talking about, they say she's in charge of it, but then she doesn't talk about it. So she's in charge of probably everything that Joe Biden is in charge of because he doesn't do anything well.
It's the musical chairs of crises, where you're always passing it around. Someone is going to get left holding the bag, and they just don't want it to be themselves.
Yes, yeah.
If you have two people who are on that ticket, who are effective, who can work together, where we can get an instance where the president can delegate some of these issues to somebody who is going to go lead. I'm trying to think of in my lifetime if there's ever been a ticket that has done that, because my recollection of what Barack Obama said about the current president, then vice president of the United States, is never underestimate Joe's ability to fudge things up.
Yep.
And that ain't how he said it. Going back to Clinton Gore, I mean, it's hard to look at what, I guess Bush Cheney did try to remake the world. And if you want more of that, vote for Nikki Haley. I'm looking at Donald Trump's unique situation of not being able to run for 8 years. Donald Trump needs to be running. He should be telling people, I'm not running for, I know that I can't run for an 8-year campaign, but I'm running for 12. When he announces this person who's going to be on his ticket, he needs to say, it's not my 4 years. This is going to be a joint effort. I'm going to, this person is America First, and they are going to work with me to build this thing and keep it going long beyond my ability to be in the administration, because it's going to be based on the Constitution and the principles of freedom and the idea that America is great and it needs to be kept that way. Which is why I feel like a Ron DeSantis pick would make a lot of sense in that regard. I don't know if it's in Ron DeSantis' best interest to oblige. Because who knows how the Donald Trump presidency is going to go with distractions. With, there are always scandals. There are always things that happen that if Ron DeSantis were to hook his wagon to Trump and things go south, then that is the remainder of his political career. I don't know that if I was going to say, I don't know if Ron DeSantis needs Donald Trump to prove that he can be effective as a leader. He's completely already proven that he can be effective, but he will need an unequivocal Trump blessing to be able to win the Trump voters who, in my opinion, ignorantly have lied about and slandered Ron DeSantis for a couple of years now, only in an effort to take him out. I mean, Donald Trump fights dirty, and he fights hard, and he wins. And that's the thing that has been hard for people to swallow for quite some time. Let us know what you think. YouTube live chat poll for today. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Yes or no? If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, in the live chat portion, you'll be able to see that poll question there and vote. Frank said, I voted no. Trump's grip on reality seems to be slipping with his recent bewildering remarks. Honestly, more troubling than Biden's gaffes. I said his name is Frank. It's really Frank and Beans. I think that adds context to the conversation. Mark says, I hope he's learned to tone it down. I think a lot of people are feeling that hope. We've been feeling that hope. I've been feeling that hope for a long time. The tone, I'd like for it to be more positive, but I'm not losing sleep at night waiting for that to happen. Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Jen Teskey is with RE/MAX Alliance on the Illinois side of the river, and the very, very best. Her team, the Jen Teskey team at RE/MAX Alliance, is going to help you sell your home with record speed at a price that you are going to love. You want honesty and truth and assistance in making sure that everything is prepared exactly as it should be so that you can get the quick sell or the dollar amount that you're looking to sell that home for. Jen Teskey, she is the person you've been dreaming of when it comes to hiring a realtor to sell your home. She has 15 plus years of experience helping families just like yours selling and buying homes on the Illinois side of the river. People seek her out for her advice. She works to broaden her expertise, including she's certified in divorce real estate. So if you're somebody who is going through a divorce, or if you know someone who's going through a divorce and you've got that home sale that you've got to reconcile, she knows exactly how to do that. And she's reached the level of certification to be able to go through that process to make sure that it's handled exactly the way it needs to be with a quick, expedited process. If you want to connect with Jen Teskey, here are a couple ways to do it. Put this number in your phone. You can call it or text it, 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010. You will not regret that phone call or text. You can find her online as well at jenteskeyhomes.com.
The NFL playoffs live on Odyssey. Westwood One brings you all the action from the AFC and NFC championship games, streaming live on the free Odyssey app. First, it's Kansas City and Baltimore.
Spinning touchdown catch at the goal line, Kelsey. He could not have been more wide open.
Then it's San Francisco and Detroit.
Hands off McCaffrey up the right side, into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers.
Listen to every game live from Westwood One. Get in the game and download the free Odyssey app today. AUDACY.
We enjoyed up until today, very mild winter. My personal opinion, it's been very nice, very mild. But winter seems like it is here now. I like to let everybody know, if your furnace is broken, call me. You are a preferred customer of mine. Everybody gets great pricing, excellent treatment, knowledgeable techs, and me. No extra charge to call us. You don't have to pay me in advance for me to get out there same day. Call me, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. Two things to remember: the phone number, and if you're tech savvy, which I'm not, it's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Happy New Year.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If your furnace isn't working, get in your comfort zone with 55 years of award-winning HVAC services from Air Comfort Service. Save $20 off any service repair at aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Odyssey is your home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today to listen to 97.1 FM Talk, even when you don't have a radio. Always streaming at 971talk.com. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Everybody's hometown, there's a reason not to stay. Beat your spirit right down. Dreamers need to get away. I remember when you said don't hate me. One day I'm getting out of here. Even if it drives me crazy, just know I'll wait for you.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Hope you're having a good afternoon. Warmer here in St. Louis than it has been. 46 degrees right now, which is a lovely uptick from the frigid weather we've had here recently. The YouTube live chat poll for today: has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Yes or no? I want to get a couple quick answers to you guys before we switch topics here. I'll read for you some of the responses we've gotten on our YouTube live chat right now. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube in the live chat portion, which is where the poll is, and also where you can leave comments like Julius is here. Let's see here. No, he's responding to somebody. That's confusing. Let's start with Thor says, I'm in the wrong thing. I'm sorry. OG Thor says, absolutely not. Since the GOP has been branded with Trump, we've lost 3 straight elections. GOP voter turnout continues to crater, and the Trump social media team is burning bridges. I do agree with that last part. The Trump social media team, and of course the DeSantis response to a lot of what the Trump social media team has laid out, has caused a lot of vitriol. I still think, though, that the percentage of people who participate, view, experience anything from, like, to understand what I mean when I say Trump social media team or DeSantis social media team, that's such a small group of people, isn't it?
It's only political junkies that are seeing that.
Well, that and people that are paid to do it.
Yep.
I was always like, I'd be following Twitter and people would be like, man, that DeSantis team is just being absolutely horrible to Team Trump. And I'm like, I'm seeing Trump people being absolutely horrible to DeSantis people too. But it seemed like the prevailing narrative was that it was Team DeSantis's, which is so ironic, social media team was too mean to Team Trump.
Oh, poor babies. Oh,
like, okay. But I mean, to me, it was about 50-50 what I would see.
I have, I do pay attention to Twitter a lot for sourcing information and collecting responses to things. And I mute those people. They're not people who I interact with, but on both sides, if all you're ever doing is if every single thing that you put on social media is to advocate for a certain political candidate and by doing so squash down the opponent, I'm just really not there for that. I'm not going to stop you or argue with you to try to change your mind because I'm not silly enough to think that I'm going to be able to do that. But like, get a hobby.
Yeah, because you're not there. You're not there to really, if that's the case, regardless of the candidate or even topic, if the only thing that you're doing is on these socials to promote one cause, it's like people who are part of those like multi-level marketing schemes. That's all they do. That's all they post about. You just go, everything you're doing is an angle. So you're not really having a conversation with me. Therefore, I'm not really interested.
JC says, funny, I was just having a conversation with my fiance about the poll and how I think Donald Trump's tone is better. Campaigns, interviews, etc. Do you think, Ryan, that has there been a marked alteration in Donald Trump's delivery?
Yes, despite himself. Because I do believe he's trying to change that. There's something that has shifted in his approach, but he's still Donald Trump. And so if you want to find stuff that's typical Trump, you can still find it. But his tone is changing, and that seems like it is a choice. Him focusing on the general is a choice right now.
What do you mean? Oh, the general election.
The general election.
I was like, which general?
The general, yeah.
Lloyd Austin?
The cartoon general from the commercials.
Selling insurance now.
No, I think even him focusing on the general election right now is a strategy, and him doing it in a way that makes him seem presidential helps him in the primary. So it may
missile launch.
Yeah, like that. Thank you. that clip comes along and
ding,
just
ding, ding, ding,
pulls
ding,
the rug
ding.
out from under anything I was just saying.
But I think they're both true.
I do too.
I mean, that's Trump.
Yeah.
He's just, the thing is that in the world that campaigns live in and politicians live in, there are people behind the scenes who are trying to manufacture an avatar of the ideal candidate. And Donald Trump is like, nope.
It's not possible.
So you can't refine it to be what you want it to be, which is refreshing because the American people don't want the refined, manufactured candidate. At least I don't think they do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Nikki Haley will win.
Donald Trump, no matter what he does, even if we have seen a dramatic shift in tone, which I think jury's still out on whether this is permanent or if it's just for a couple of weeks he's shifting a little bit. If it is permanent, he still isn't a polished politician. He's still Donald Trump. He still speaks basically with no filter when you ask him a question. He answers questions instead of saying, look, and then saying whatever else he was going to say. He's still Donald Trump. So,
yeah. I mean, he's not a polished politician, but it seems like he's becoming a polished Donald Trump.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, he's taken the edge off of some of this stuff. One of the examples I think of is like I haven't heard him refer to a woman as a reporter as a nasty woman or something like that. He's gotten
going to say that tomorrow.
He will.
Yeah, probably. He's gotten away from stuff like that, but he's still hammering on the fake news media. This, they're lying to you, but he's also leaning into the let's make America great again, and it isn't make Donald Trump great again. It's actually he's talking about making America great again.
When we were speaking in the 12 o'clock hour with Harris Faulkner, a great conversation with her, and you can check that out on the Annie Frey Show podcast, I asked her the poll question and just thought I wanted to know what her thoughts were on the person who we've seen in the last maybe month or so from Donald Trump, if she's noticed any differences. And she went back to the Martha McCallum, Brett Baer interview, and I agree with that. I think he looked very presidential in that interview specifically. And I've seen Donald Trump do this a few times in media appearances where we can easily get wrapped up in the 22-minute increment sitcom installments of politics that in some, I'll put my hand up and say maybe I'm responsible for being part of that problem where every day we do 3 hours of whatever we want to do. But we have like episodes, like in today's episode, Donald Trump articulates through onomatopoeia a missile launch.
Tomorrow on The Apprentice.
Yeah, exactly. I think we can get wrapped up in that. And I also enjoy the levity of it. I enjoy the exhale of it. But I have seen Donald Trump take some of those interviews where he's posed a very political-based question. And he's the one who actually brings it back to the center and talks about how we're in a very serious time. We're in a very serious moment. And the American people understand it. They feel it. They know it to be true. And we can't afford not to make the right decision in November. And then Donald Trump is the person who can get this country back where it needs to be, all of the conversation that surrounds Joe Biden and his inability to handle the job, nobody is going to convince me that this man is fully within his wits and wisdom doing the job of the president. There's nobody who's going to convince me that that is the case. And the idea of him in 4 years, there's nothing else that needs to be said. It speaks for itself. So we can talk about the mistakes that Joe Biden makes. We can talk about the kind of goofiness and idiosyncrasies of Donald Trump. But I have seen Donald Trump take kind of the political circus that is surrounding this moment in time and say, this is serious. Mm-hmm. And we can't afford to not stay focused on what needs to happen for this country. And I'm the guy who's going to do it. And I appreciate that, because it seems as though Donald Trump would be easy to distract in some cases. All you have to do is personally attack him, and then he's off message. It seems to me that he's been more on message than he's ever been before. And what I want to see Donald Trump do as a campaigner, and I think that he's doing this. So has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? It's my poll, and I ask these very specifically, so there's no gray area. You got to say yes or no, and if you want to qualify it, you can do so in the comments. I think he has become a better campaigner. I also think he could become a worse campaigner tomorrow, like I said. What Donald Trump has done that has not benefited him over the course of all of the years that he's been campaigning, in my opinion, is he's watered down the true opponent that we can all get behind by showing us all of the opponents that Donald Trump has. I understand Ron DeSantis is an obstacle to Donald Trump becoming the president, and I respect that. Donald Trump chooses ways to take Ron DeSantis out of the race. I don't love and respect everything that he or his team did to get there, but I understand the mission. I understand when Donald Trump wants to attack the media. I understand when Donald Trump wants to attack particular people he's worked with, if it's Chris Christie or Nikki Haley or whatever. When Donald Trump starts talking about what the A1 mission is to defeat Joe Biden in November, the more he talks about that, the more we don't have to be distracted by, well, how do I feel about Ron DeSantis? How do I feel about Chris Christie or Nikki Haley or Hillary Clinton or whatever it might be? When you narrow the focus, it broadens the base. And I need to see more of that from Donald Trump, and I feel like we have been. So I think my answer to this question would be yes. But I'm not holding my breath for it. And every time that he diverts back into name-calling, to me, those become Donald Trump issues, not Trump voter issues. And as soon as he sways away from the idea of a Trump voter issue, I'm disinterested. Get it back to where I am part of the conversation, where my children become part of the conversation in the future of this country. That's where he lives. In my opinion, that is where Donald Trump wins in November 2024. And part of him becoming a better campaigner is to narrow that focus.
The way that you'll know that he actually has shifted that message and become a better Donald Trump, as Brad put it, is that you won't really see a lot of those headlines for quite a while. Because the stuff that makes headlines, the stuff that everybody loves talking about, is the crazy stuff. If he avoids that, you're just not going to hear as much about him, which I don't know if that's great. I mean, it probably just means that his message gets out a little bit easier because there's not as much clutter to get through. But I think that's the barometer that you use to see if it's working.
Well, we want to know what you think. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote in our live chat poll for today. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner, yes or no? More Annie Frey Show right around the corner before we wrap it up and hand it over to Mark Reardon. And remember, live coverage tonight of the New Hampshire primary, where you go to get your information right here on 97.1 FM Talk. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Comfort Service, you find them online at aircomfortservice.com. Cold weather, obviously, need your furnace to be working. This also is a very important time for your business to be heated appropriately if you can't open because the furnace isn't working right. Air Comfort Service is there to help you as well. I talk a lot about their residential services, their insulation services, their maintenance, the tune-ups that they can do, or furnace replacement. But I want you to understand, too, that commercially, they are your go-to. You can reach out to them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you give them a call. And they want you to know that Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation will give you a free second opinion on commercial HVAC repairs. So if you're a business owner, a building manager, an operations manager, an office manager, and recently you've been told that your HVAC system needs a repair, make sure you get that free second opinion from Air Comfort Service and see how they can help you with your needs. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars early bird special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars Tuesday, January 30th at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights, and Wednesday, January 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
If you need someone you can trust for your eye care, go see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Kim St. Ange here. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
We were just talking about it. Let us know what you think. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner, yes or no? And leave a comment. We'll read some of those here in just a couple minutes. That's today's Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. It is 2:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey,
it's Mark Reardon. It's New Hampshire primary day, and nobody cares. At least I don't. More importantly, the male golfer who's trying to break into the LPGA, a slight setback. We'll talk about that coming up after Fox News.
I got rice cooking in the microwave. Got a 3-day beer.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Yeah, I think I'll make me some homemade soup. I'm feeling pretty good, and that's the truth. It's neither drink nor drug induced. No, I'm just doing all right. And it's a great.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Appreciate you being with us this afternoon. Go vote on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. We're going to have results here in less than 10 minutes on this question. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Yes or no? Let us know what you think, and we will give you those results here shortly. Yahoo has a report. Mark Zuckerberg has spent $187 million secretly buying 1,600 acres of Hawaii land, and now he is reportedly building a massive self-sustaining apocalypse bunker.
Okay.
I don't really know what us commoners can do to be like, okay, if Zuck's doing it, I guess I'll build my bunker now too. But I see a lot of people, especially they're always lefties, they're building underground instead of buying the next house or whatever. You make anything of that, Brad?
I didn't know androids needed apocalypse bunkers. I mean, when the EMP goes off, he's hosed anyway. I don't.
That's true. And anything else is just going to tear the flesh right off of him, and he'd just be the exoskeleton walking around.
Well, that would be really awkward. So maybe he's trying to avoid
that's
it.
True.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe you've proven why he needs the underground bunker.
I do question his choice to build it there. Seems like if it's going to be a big volcano, maybe you don't do it right there.
I don't think he's worried about a volcano.
What's he worried about?
Well, if he's worried about anything, it's probably some sort of war in the country. And
okay.
So he can.
So not on the mainland.
Not on the mainland, and in the middle of the Pacific, as far away from China and the United States as he can get.
Yahoo says Meta Platforms Inc. CEO Mark Zuckerberg is reportedly constructing an extensive compound in Hawaii featuring a unique blend of luxury and survivalist elements. The compound, known as Kulau Ranch, is set to include a 5,000 square foot underground bunker, complete with its own energy and food supplies. The bunker's design incorporates a metal door filled with concrete, a feature commonly found in bunkers and bomb shelters. The project, which reflects a growing trend among Silicon Valley elites for preparedness and luxury, is estimated to cost around $100 million to build on top of the $170 million spent acquiring the land. This brings the total investment to approximately $270 million, according to Wired. The project has been shrouded in secrecy since the beginning. Workers on the ranch are required to sign strict non-disclosure agreements, and reports indicate people have been fired for posting on social media that they are working on the project. Workers on the compound undergo constant surveillance from hundreds of cameras, and military-style security measures have been implemented across the ranch.
To me, there's two ways you can go with this. Like, you guys got your tinfoil hats. Let's put some on there. Either, I look at this and it's either this is like peak TDS where he's like, Donald Trump stands a chance at being reelected, and if he gets reelected, it's the end of the world, and I need a safe place to go. Or he's looking at it going, oh man, we screwed everything up. There's nothing that's going to save it. I need a safe place to be.
Or he's looking at the things that I would draw when I was in third grade and being like, you know what? I got enough money. Let's just build that thing.
Wasn't it just a zip line to your best friend's house, though?
No. I would draw
tin cans and a string.
Yeah, I would draw house plans that had basically skating rinks in them. That was the only thing. I don't know why I was really into that.
Really specific.
Yeah, but they would be underground because it was just cooler if you put your full-size skating rink / basketball hoop court underground. Maybe he's just doing that. 5,000 square feet would probably house that.
Yahoo says this comes at a time when Meta is moving into the virtual metaverse. This bet caused a stock decline of roughly 68% in 2022 before recovering to all-time highs early into the new year. The tumultuous year reflects several trends for the social media giant. On one side, some competitors and startups continue to rise to take market share. TikTok, for example, has been a large competitor and concern for the social media giant. Maybe it's the AI. Maybe it's the bots that he knows are coming.
Maybe he's testing the bots to see if they can build. Maybe he's nervous about humans building it and posting on social media, so he's trying out as many bots as possible.
I think that they've articulated in this conversation here that he's using people
but
that
they keep
have
getting
to
fired.
describe NDAs.
They keep getting fired, though.
Maybe that's how he's introducing the androids into the system. He's firing them, and then they have to go find other work.
If there's one thing I know for sure, it's
Turing
one
test.
of these few theories that we've brought up is true.
Or it's not.
Yeah, I mean, the end of the day, he could just be neurotic. And just, I'm super scared about everything, and I'm going to build this bunker because I have the $250 million to do it.
If you had the money, wouldn't you build an underground skating rink in Hawaii?
If I had the money, I would build something underground. Skating rink would not be high on the list.
Invite all the cool people.
If I
Cher and Dustin Hoffman.
built an underground bunker and had a skating rink, you'd be over there all the time.
Yeah, I just live down there. Don't put a kitchen in it, otherwise I will live in it.
My underground bunker on the outside is just going to have a big picture of an oval with a skate on it and a big red X.
Oh, no! On the outside where nobody can see it underground.
Just you.
My bunker is going to have a big picture of Ryan Wiggins with a red circle and a slash through
So you're
it.
going for the direct message. Mine is trying to be
No
subtle
skates here, Ryan.
passive
I'm
aggressive.
trying to figure out how
Yeah,
people are
you.
seeing the outside of your bunker underground. But,
Well, you got to have a way to
logistics.
get in.
The concrete door.
So you're already underground, but you're walking up to the door.
How do you,
I'm picturing this whole complex being surrounded by dirt, and you putting an anti-Ryan Wiggins sign on the outside.
See, the problem here is the way you're picturing it, not what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
No kidding.
I want to know how
I've
you're
got
doing
a picture
this.
of a big door.
I'm
in my
assuming that you're going to descend in one way
Yes.
or shape or form into the bunker.
Yes.
And it's not going to be just wide open. You don't build a bunker that doesn't have an entryway.
Or you just don't build yourself into the bunker and not have a way out.
So you're saying you're going to put the
It's a shock
no
to me that your underground
skating
bunker
sign.
skating rink never materialized. Actually, you built it, but you forgot to put a door on it, so you've never been able to skate.
Yeah, it's down there. Somebody in the future is going to discover this.
This is
and be
why
like,
you're so bothered by it.
This is what the ancients love to do with their time.
The what?
The ancients.
The what?
Ancients.
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 Gosh, I wish we ended the show 2 minutes ago.
We can do the results of the YouTube live chat poll.
No, it's too soon.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about skating some more?
Mm-mm.
Do you skate inline or quads? I'm an inline guy.
I don't. I don't skate.
Brad?
Do you remember when rollerblades made their way into?
Yeah, it was the 90s.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
It was the early 90s.
Mine were white with teal wheels and a pink inner lining.
Ooh. Mine
That's
were
cool.
black with red wheels and red inner lining.
They could light up.
I still have the same skates as I did in 1998.
Are they in your bunker with no door?
One of these days, skates, you and I will be able to skate in this bunker.
My baseball card collection's in there. There's a lot of stuff in there. I haven't seen it for a long time.
Lifetime supply of Cheetos.
I wanted to talk about this real quick before we break. This is a report from USA Today. It says, alcohol you later, don't drink and drive. Quote, turn signals, the original instant messaging. Or, quote, get the cell off your phone and drive.
What are they trying out headlines?
These are just a few entertaining, witty U.S. Department of Transportation electronic safety signs motorists catch a sight of during their drive across the nation's interstate, but not much longer. Last month, the U.S. Federal Highway Administration released its updated 1,100-page manual, which includes rules regulating signs and other traffic control devices. Under changes outlined in the handbook, the quirky signs aimed at raising awareness about highway safety will soon disappear. My favorite thing government has ever done.
Yeah, I don't care about this at all. I want those signs to go away other than when they just say accident, exit 4. That's it.
Overhead electronic signs with obscure meanings, references to pop culture, or those intended to be funny will be phased out nationwide over the next couple of years because, quote, they can be misunderstood or distracting to drivers, which is hilarious.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I ran into that car. I was trying to figure out what your dumb sign said back there.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the rhyme scheme.
Just put up, buckle your seatbelt.
Not even that. I just
Don't
want them
speed.
to go away.
Yes.
Just go away.
Don't
Tell
need your
me
help.
if there is a problem ahead that I wouldn't have otherwise known about. That's
Do you love the catchy, witty signs that remind you to do things in a super patronizing way?
I hate them with every ounce of
Not what he told me off air, Annie. It's not what he told me.
Me?
He said he loved them.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you know what I love, Ryan? I love those funny
I've
signs.
changed my mind. That's what's going to be on the door of my bunker. A witty sign with a circle and a line through it.
No wittiness.
I think they bother me because they're just witty enough to be okay.
They're bad.
But they're never good.
They're a church sign.
Kinda, but church signs are even better at times.
Yeah.
The dad jokes of highways.
Yeah.
Yes. The YouTube live chat poll for today, we want to know what you think. Has Donald Trump become a better campaigner? Yes or no? You said, Ryan?
Yes.
Brad?
I'm a yes.
I'm a yes, too. 72% of almost 250 votes? Yes.
No kidding.
Saying yes. So you've marked the change, too. Let's hope that it sticks. Let's hope that it stays. And let's see what happens tonight in New Hampshire. The primary taking place this evening. All of the coverage you need right here on 97.1 FM Talk. So maybe I'll put an earbud in tonight and listen to the coverage while I cheer on my son playing basketball. Maybe that's the solution to what I'm going to do.
Do it.
All right. Stick around because the Mark Reardon Show is going to take you through the afternoon in your drive time home. No witty signs there either. Just straight facts and good comedy on 97.1 FM Talk with the Mark Reardon Show. Coming up next.
Gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart. So beat the
Hi, I'm Uzo Aduba, and right now, medical information is not regularly being shared within the research community, but you can help change that. Patients can help accelerate research by sharing their information and unique experience.
Everyone's experience with cancer matters, including my own.
If you're a cancer patient in the U.S. and its territories or Canada, you may be able to play a part in accelerating cancer research and uncovering new breakthroughs simply by sharing your patient data with researchers around the world.
My unique experience can make the difference of life and death to some of the people in my community.
It is in our stories and data that the answers can be found.
Join Stand Up to Cancer, Count Me In, and thousands of patients like Maeve, Bridget, and Joel in this movement.
For our family.
For our friends.
For us all.
The information is out there. Together we can unlock it. Join in at standuptocancer.org/countmein.
Hi, Chad Hansen from Hansen's Tree Service. Much like the human body, trees require a specific combination of nutrients to thrive. Our certified arborists can come to your property and prescribe the ideal treatment to ensure your trees and plants thrive this coming season. Check us out today at hansenstree.com and take advantage of our winter savings.
SSM Health welcomes the St. Louis Golf Expo, February 2nd through 4th at St. Charles Convention Center.